Hello and welcome back to the Liminal Branch Library, the archive in the seams. I'm your Archivist and Librarian, Mordio Crow. And tonight, we're playing more of RootRPG, where our Vagabonds are in the midst of not quite a heist, but you're in a very classical heist position of being somewhere deep within a manor with something very valuable in a certain way that you now need to figure out what to do with. But those Vagabonds are, as always, I realize now that I almost always start at one side and then go to the other, so we'll start in the middle today. We have Hambone playing as Milo.
Hello.
And then all the way over there, we have Amasha playing as Ember.
Hello.
And then right next to me, we have Nova playing as Miffy, who... Hello?
It's muted.
There's no Nova.
My mic thing doesn't turn off automatic like I had it do. Whatever. Hello.
An important thing, because I realize I still have this little PNG. Miffy, are you still wearing your silly disguise?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna put that away then. We don't need that right now.
I mean, I didn't think so as well, but you never know with Miffy.
It's dark in here. I don't think I can use that effectively.
Like inside the mask?
I don't have a mask.
I mean, like the snow cone hell.
Oh. It's not
That's for eye
infrared
holes.
mask.
Alright. Yeah, so with Miffy not wearing the mascot outfit, perhaps we should recap why Miffy has a mascot outfit. And you know what? Actually, I don't think I touched upon it in my recap update. Very much an oversight on my part.
I was gonna say.
But last time our Vagabonds, having arrived in Featherflight, worked with the Marquis agent there to make their way up into the upper city, moving above the docks and warehouses at this trade hub to where the nobility resides. The way that you all accomplished this was via commerce, I suppose, marketing. You created a snow cone-based traveling treat sales company with very official-looking paperwork and even a mascot with which to sell it, and went up and did decently well, delighting the nobility of Featherflight with this novelty, though it is, in fact, winter, so seasonally is it the ideal treat, but the novelty seemed to have carried your sales pretty well over the course of the day.
We weren't giving them full cones. We were giving them like a taster, a little moose boosh of them.
I don't remember
Also,
that
they're
being
not
said
in
when I was deciding how
cones.
much money you made, but
Well, then it was
I'm kidding,
whatever
I'm
price
kidding.
whatever portion size you think would be appropriate for that.
I'm kidding. But with that as your reason for being up amongst the nobility, you also scouted out the location where a deal between the Riverfolk Company and the Eyrie dynasties was being negotiated, or was to be negotiated in just a few days' time. That manor belonging to a captain of the Riverfolk Company, a Captain Cruella Castor, former mentor of Miffy, and the one who, I forget, Miffy, did you say she literally stabbed you in the back? I believe you said she did, right? And pointed out a big scar, right?
I just said that at the moment, but it's canon now.
That is how that works. It is now canon. I just wanted to check before I repeated it. So, the one who literally stabbed Miffy in the back. In this very town. All that time
And
ago.
then metaphorically.
Yeah, surprisingly, it wasn't at the same time. The physically stabbing in the back wasn't metaphorical until a few hours later. No. But anyway, you now find yourselves, after doing your scouting, within her manor. With a particularly nice set of rolls, you are undetected and in the labyrinthine internals, where you found several crates of very carefully sealed powders, as well as masks with filters. The party is determining what it is they want to do with them, because certainly this is what's being negotiated between the company and the Eyrie, but you actually don't know the exact... We, the players, can use our imaginations, and certainly you, the characters, can probably also use your imaginations, but likely your imaginations can think of multiple potential things. It's hard to say just from having seen it exactly what it will do, but none of them are probably any good. So my first question for you all, before we get into specifically what you want to do, is a question that I asked towards the end last time, but I think either we got off topic or something happened and we didn't get an explicit answer, which was, did you want to have your marquee ally with you at this moment? Or is she keeping watch for you outside? Is she on her own searching? Like, where do we want her in relation to you? There's advantages to having her with you. There's advantages to having her away from you. We should probably decide that before we get much further in the...
I was thinking she was lookout.
Yeah.
Works fine for me. No dissent?
I was gonna say it could be good for her to be here so we can just sort of communicate what we're going to do to it, but or like decide together, but I don't... If people think she should be lookout, I won't really complain about it.
Does she trust us enough to be responsible with what we find?
Yeah, I think she said before, it's like she asked for help from her contacts in the marquee. They sent her you. She trusts them, so she has to trust you. Like, that's just how this has to work, right?
I think we could probably just do what we want and then tell her, and if she really wants us to go back and do more to it, then like that's what we do.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to find out, and if worst comes to worst, like, do something about it, but right now it's not the worst. So I think we should
I don't know,
report
this
back.
seems pretty war crimey. That's probably really, really bad.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be scoundrels, so... I mean, the deal's not till tomorrow, right? Or
The deal is the following morning, so it's probably in somewhere around... And you know birds, they like to get up early. So it's probably within the next 4 to 6 hours. You don't have an exact
She can be a
time.
lookout, and then we can deal with this here, right here.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Which brings us to our next question, which is, how are you dealing with it?
Miffy. Wait, how many? Like, is it just one big crate, and then there's things in it, or are there multiple crates, and we opened one?
There are multiple crates. Most of them have the masks in them because those take up a lot more volume, right? There is, I would say, probably just one big crate of the powders. Maybe something that's around half of Miffy's height and like, 2 or 3 Miffys wide. So like big enough that theoretically you all could pick it up and carry it, right? Like, and it would be heavy, but you could do it. Probably 2 of you is enough to carry it even. Though, don't drop it, right? But
Ooh.
I'm gonna take one of the masks.
yeah, just to
Yeah,
have
I feel
it,
like...
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do these masks have like serial numbers on them by chance?
I don't think they would.
No, they're not keeping stock about how many they have.
They probably are keeping stock. I just wonder if they would have serial numbers.
I feel like they would just know it's at a place if like 3 of them are missing from the pile.
I don't know, I just feel like armor could have serial numbers, especially if they're like being made by a company. But if they don't, that's fine. I just thought it might be useful if we were, say, trying to figure out how many they made.
Right. That's a good point.
How do I roll for maths?
How do you roll for maths? Great question. I
Cunning?
don't think you do roll for
How
maths.
many are in a crate and how many crates are there? How do I learn? What do I roll to figure that out?
Okay, that one I don't think you need to worry about rolling for. That one you can just take a couple minutes and do a quick check. It looks like here, like just in this supply, they have somewhere between 150 and 200 masks, which again comprise the majority of what's actually here in this room, right?
And it was a powder, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was their container like? Was it like a mason jar or a baggie or what?
I'm just picturing this specific thing that I know what it is being transported in a Ziploc. It's just very funny.
Oh my god!
I was picturing like a box of cereal, but inside there are bags of chemical weapons.
I think these ones are, so you have the crate, the wooden crate that they're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And inside those, there's jars, and then inside those jars, there's another container like sitting on like a cushion, right? So it's like held in place, almost like how we would use like styrofoam to hold it in, but they have some other, probably just like a bunch of cotton or other soft plant, to pack around that. So it's like two layers of jars inside the crate. They really do not want this spilling.
Okay, I have a question, and you'll understand my reasoning. Is there a sample already taken out of the box? I assume they wouldn't be like rifling through the boxes like we are. I would assume that the demonstrator would have a jar and a mask already prepared and separate from the rest of this batch.
Mm-hmm.
Is there such a thing nearby, or would I think that someone would have it?
Miffy, I think I want you to make a roll for this one. I think this is a good question that isn't immediately apparent. So probably, I'm trying to think of what makes sense. I'm trying to look at the move list right now to see if there's a move that makes sense for this one. I guess maybe read a tense situation makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Also, the way Miffy described it, I was picturing like, how sometimes when you like order a gamer sub or a bunch of snacks, they send you like free samples for another kind. I was picturing that, but with chemical weapons.
Oh my god.
Ah, yes, these one will be zingy.
Yep.
If you liked the mustard gas, try the anthrax.
No.
All right. A miss. Miffy, you're looking through it, and it's hard to tell if there's any missing. What I'm going to tell you is that, as far as you can tell, the jars are neatly packed in this box. It's not like there is one single jar missing, but you do feel like you're missing something. And as you have that thought, there's some footsteps in the hall just outside the door. And you remember you had to open a locked, like a vault door to get in here, right? They're coming someone's coming this way. You think you can hear at least two pairs as a group.
What happened to our lookout?
Your lookout? I thought your lookout was outside. Did you mean outside the room?
That's what I thought. You did not specify where the lookout was.
You're right, we did not. I assumed the lookout was
her.
keeping watch for the bird to inform you that the meeting was starting in the morning, so keeping a watch for the Lord outside the building.
Okay.
If you mean here, then I will amend my previous statement to incorporate your lookout right here, if that's what you prefer. I'll leave that as our group. Whatever was the intention is fine to me.
What did you guys think it was?
I didn't have a thought.
I was thinking like someone coming our way, basically.
I was just like, I'm sure she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, like if they see someone coming down our wing of the mansion, they'll tell us. Do the signal.
All right. So I've got 50-50, I think. Or did you also think she was inside?
I thought she was inside.
All right, then that sounds reasonable enough that she's inside. So in that case, rather than you all hearing the footsteps, since she is inside, you will get more advanced warning, where she'll very quietly, barely audibly whisper, "Someone's coming. 2, maybe 3 people."
she doesn't describe them in any way?
She doesn't know. She just hears their footsteps.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So can we...
You need to either take something and leave now, or try to hide here amongst the crates, which theoretically possible if you each squeeze in between different sets of crates. It's not great hiding spots. You could also, I guess, try to bury yourselves in the masks. But
I mean, we have decent amount of sneaks. Maybe we can do it.
Sneak out? Yeah. I mean,
Oh no, I
you guys-
meant hide or right. Sorry, sneak and hide are separate.
they are different.
Yeah.
Yes.
I only have sneak, so. Well, this place we're in, is it like a high vaulted ceiling with rafters, or is it like kind of low and snug?
It's got a slightly large ceiling. It looks like it's used to store valuables. So there's some shelves right now that have smaller boxes that you ruffled through as a part of searching. They were unrelated things, stuff that didn't particularly matter or was relevant. So there's like some shelves off to either side. There's the crates, which occupy the majority of the space in the center. The ceiling does go up a bit, but it doesn't have a bunch in like rafters or anything.
Okay, so it can't like vault up on top of some rafters and kind of get out of sight.
Probably the closest you could get is going up on top of the shelves and then trying to use some of the other boxes to hide behind. It would be a very tight fit, but theoretically possible, right?
Yeah.
And
Ember
in that,
is-
if you roll well on your hide roll, it can happen. But if you don't, your antennae are going to stick up.
And I'm part of a TV. Well,
Ember is of the opinion we snag and leave because that is her thought of we get out of here before we get locked in here. Like, even if we don't get found, they're gonna lock up after themselves.
Actually, hold on one moment. Okay, can I use read a tense situation for the room itself?
In what sense? Beyond
Can
what?
I see if there's like, is the main door we came in the only way out? Is there like a secret passage or a hidden hide behind or something we're missing?
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. All right.
Investigate.
Yes, I would say feel free to make that roll. Just be aware that on a miss, I get to say what happens next, and that's never good. So.
You're saying?
Hey!
Oh, all right. Well, you get your 3 questions.
Okay. Is there another way out of the room besides the main door or whatever way the people are coming in from?
All right, Milo, you have this thought, and you look around. There's no other immediate doors. However, something does strike you as odd. You're looking, and you see near one of these shelves, off towards the back, there's a handful of crates, and one of those crates just slightly off of what appears to be a seam in the floor.
Ooh.
Secret!
I knew. I've been playing Zelda. I know what's going on. Okay. So I still have questions before I act on it. How big are the jars? That's not really a question,
Yeah,
but
that's not something you need to spend a read a 10 situation question on.
Oh,
I can
you
ask how
your
many
next
jars are.
wish.
They're like, I'm trying to think what's a good way to describe it. Like they're like a large, but like I don't know, 2 or 3 times the size of like a standard pickle jar, because they do hold a smaller jar inside it with padding around it, right? So like they're slightly oversized in that sense, but like any one of you could comfortably carry it without a problem, right? Or like throw it in a bag. It's just like they're relatively large as far as jars go.
all right.
Ember is snagging anything she can reach.
Besides the helmets and jars, is there anything that's been moved into here that seems recent?
No, I don't think so. I think this seems to be the focus. Right? Like whatever's going
Okay.
on.
And I have one more, I think. You guys have any questions?
No, not really.
Can we... What's the right word? Signal our lookout.
Yeah.
Oh, can they like...
Yeah, that
Can we
we're
converse
going
with
into
them?
secret passage, I'm assuming.
We gotta investigate.
Yeah.
Right. Call Ella back to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine she's a few doors away from you, right? So someone, probably Miffy, being experienced in these sorts of operations, hisses for her to come your way, I assume.
Yeah, I think she should get into the secret passage with us.
All right.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so you move the crate as Miffy calls her over. Ember and Milo, you move the crate, and find that what Milo thought was perhaps a secret passage does not appear to be a secret passage, but a vault within a vault. And there is enough space for each of you underneath it. It's a hideaway, almost like a small panic room. When you look inside, you can get in. It's cramped with 4 people. You can all fit. Don't get me wrong, but it's not made for 4 people. It's made for 1 person. And there's like a very small supply of like food and water, like preserved food and water, in case someone needed to hide out here for what looks like several days, right? But there is enough room for you all to squeeze in if this is where you want to hide.
One last question. We haven't acted upon that, right?
I think you have one more question.
We
Yeah.
open it to see it.
Yeah, you had
Can we open the vault from the inside?
looking at it, looking at the mechanisms real quick. This is probably something where Milo needs to ask Ember. Wait, actually, do you have lockpick on yours, Milo?
Yeah, pick
Oh,
lock.
you do? Okay, then yes. You don't need to ask anyone. You know this.
I think I use that to get in.
Yeah, I realized after I started talking, it's like, no, Miffy and Ember work together on disabling the traps. You work together to open it, right? Yeah, looking at it, it's not designed to be opened from the inside easily, but with your tools available to you and the fact that you've done it before, you think that you could open it again from the inside. It might take you a few minutes, but you think you could do it.
Okay, so we pile into the panic room and wait for them to leave?
We keep an ear out, though. But yes.
I don't know if we have any other choice.
It's either that or you start fleeing, right? Like you head out and go into the hallways.
Now we're bunkering.
All right, we're bunkering. And so very important question before we finish bunkering, because Amasha/Ember started saying it. Ember, are you bringing the stuff with you into the bunker?
No.
No. Like picks it up, has it in hands, debates whether to bring it or not, begrudgingly puts it back. All right.
Not even one?
Don't ask.
Okay.
Don't ask or she will.
All right, so now I think I want a hide roll. Either Miffy or Ember, you can roll this.
Okay.
Milo, I'm not going to make you roll a separate thing. We're going to let the hide roll from the 2 who can hide determine the fate of the group, since you found the hideaway. Because you did find a hideaway, I'm going to give you guys a +1 to the roll. And keep in mind, whoever does not roll could help the other one if needed by marking an exhaustion.
Okay, I have a +1 to my finesse.
Please do. I have a -1.
All right, so I'll do a +2. Can I add it from here?
Actually, wouldn't that just be attempt to roguish feat? So just roll that.
Yeah, you roll.
Yeah,
roguish.
finesse.
Okay.
I don't know if you can add +1, but that's all right. Just roll it.
Okay.
Let's go!
Oop.
I mean,
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go. All right, so you all climb in, and Miffy, you're perhaps the last one in, and as like Ella gets in, Ember, Milo, and Miffy, you get in, you start closing it, and then you reach your paw over, grab the crate that was almost completely on top of it that Milo saw before, and remember to drag it back into position before, like as you're closing the door on yourself, which kind of hurts your arm, like as you pinch your arm and pull this crate back on top of the lid. It's going to be a little bit of a pain to open, but you know Castor, and if she comes through that door, she would have noticed if you had forgotten that step.
Ooh.
Oh God.
What,
But
Miffy?
this strong hit means that she doesn't notice when you hear her walk through that door.
Ooh.
She's accompanied by what sounds to be one of her lieutenants, one of her other fellow mercenaries. Lieutenant probably isn't the right word because they're not a military. You know, one of her employees.
Executives.
Yep. They're going over the plan for in the morning. And the room is all prepared, yes, for the demonstration. Certainly. As airtight as we are able to get it, we have the wash ready just in case, and, well, no one who's especially susceptible will be in the manor, so we should be safe on that front. You can hear the shifting of some of the lids, the slight shifting of glass, as it sounds like one of the jars is removed. And did our contacts tell us anything about the Great Lord's mood? As far as we can tell, he seems driven. He feels pressed for time. To which Castor replies, and we have the advantage and are able to ask the world of him. Let's see that he gives it to us. You hear some of the crates shifting, and then they leave. And you all are undetected.
Whew. Nice. Okay, so they took a sample. They took at least the powder. It didn't sound like they took a mask as far as...
that one's a little bit hard. You did hear lids shifting. The masks don't make as iconic of a sound as glass, right? But you heard some
are they
shifting.
made of leather or what?
Yeah, it's like mostly leather and, a couple buckles.
That's good animal skin.
Oh, you're right. It probably would have to be some sort of faux leather then, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of fibers, like hemp.
That's true,
Yeah.
but are they, not,
something that doesn't breathe very well, I'm sure there's something.
There are a few, like,
oh yeah,
like I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say seaweed if treated a certain way, but also when you said, "Are they?" My hand automatically moved to like meh. Are they?
Actually, seaweed might be a very good one for it to be made out of, seeing as the Riverfolk Company are likely the producers, and they certainly trade across both river and oceans, so that would probably be a good material. So let's go with that. Let's go with a seaweed-like material.
So is this place we're sitting in right now? Is this Corilla's butthole?
I don't think this is her manor, so it's more like the Lord's butthole, right?
Well, this is her manor.
Oh, this is her manor. Fuck!
Well.
Never did I want to be in her butthole.
Man. Yeah, well, I don't want to be here either, so as soon as we get the get-go, let's get out of here.
I'm imagining the two of you sticking your heads out at this point, after, Miffy's taken a couple minutes to slowly shift the crate over. Two of you stick your head out, then Ella sticks her head out, and be like, I don't know if this is much of a bud hole. Seems more designed for one person. It's kind of a tight squeeze in here.
A self-hole.
I'm missing the point here.
Yeah?
Anyway, the things inside to catch you up. We're pretty sure it's poison in there.
Negative.
And masks for the birds to use.
I think it might be
to prevent their so they don't breathe in the poison. Now I don't exactly know what it does. You gave me some poison rings. Do you have experience with poison? Could you take a look and see if it is in fact what the sample is?
I have some experience, but I'm not an expert. And Ember didn't end up taking it, which is a good call. because they certainly would have noticed a missing jar.
I want to take it now.
Yeah, now
but
you
I'm
can
stuck
certainly go grab it.
everyone.
Yeah. So everyone gets out
Can
of
I get out?
You're able to go grab it, as well as any
Okay.
masks for those who want them.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yep. And upon looking at it, Ella says, well, it's clear that this is something that poses a danger from being inhaled. But she said something, or her assistant said something about no one who is especially susceptible to it. I wonder what that's supposed to
mean.
mean.
And also they prepared a bath to wash it off, so maybe it's not an inhale thing?
Maybe it just makes you real stinky.
I mean,
I think we would have smelt it then.
No, you're right, they mentioned a bath, which leads me to believe that merely touching it is an issue, but that perhaps inhaling it is especially bad. Perhaps touching it is treatable, inhaling it is, makes a little bit of emotion. But that's just speculation, I don't know for sure.
Well, either way, we need to mess this deal up. And I don't think destroy... Well, so we certainly could destroy these crates now if you wanted. But we need to make sure that this deal fails. My inclination is to let this play out. However, we tamper with what they have.
But we don't even know what it does.
If the Lord doesn't like what happens, well, there will be no future for the company.
But how do we tamper with it without them knowing? And, well, what if something goes wrong and we get hurt?
How about we just poke holes in all of the masks?
I don't see. That's what I think we should do. But I don't know if we have enough time for all these masks. And they're probably going to use the demonstration one.
So what if we just find the demonstration mask and poke that?
Yeah, the only problem is it's probably held by Castor.
Well, aren't you looking to get close to Castor? Back up close to her, within a Miffin range?
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm prepared to do that. However, I don't think it solves our problem here.
Oh, there are pillows around all of the glass, right?
Yeah, like little bits of plant matter, like cotton, to help pack it in. Yep.
If we take all of the cotton from the top level, then maybe they'll screw it up themselves.
You just take out enough of the padding and hope that they drop or otherwise jostle it enough to break the glass and accidentally chemical weapon themselves.
I do think... I think they're very concerned with the tightness of this plan, right? They've got a room set up. And they also have a bath prepared. I think we should cover all our bases here. Someone's gonna get real hurt, and it's not gonna be us.
Mordio, what shape is the door to the vault?
It's probably still rectangular, but like, one of those big, heavy rectangular doors.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but back when I was in the academy, we used to have this little boyhood prank where we put a bucket of water on top of the door frame so that when someone opened it, it would splash all over them.
Ember gasps in delight because she is very familiar with this.
Now, I don't know if we can set it up just right. We leave a vault door open even just a smidge, they might smell it out, but it could be worth discussing.
Are you suggesting we dump the powder over someone's head?
Well, more that we dump the bottles over their head and they'll crash on the floor, then the powder will get all over.
I don't hate that. However, if we kill the wrong person, that's gonna be real bad.
Ella, who's the wrong person in regards to the Eyrie and the company?
I don't think we should kill the Lord.
Yeah. But when you ask her that, she looks like she considers this question very seriously. And to which, after a long pause, she says, if we don't get caught, I don't think there is a wrong person.
Oh, that's hardcore, and I respect you.
Finally, I can die happy. Okay.
I mean, it took her a little bit to come to that conclusion. And to be clear, she does mean in this manner. She's not saying, if you drop it off the upper city into the lower city, that it wouldn't be a problem. But she's saying, within reason of this manner, probably no wrong target.
Damien's so right. It's not a crime if you don't get caught.
That's true.
Also, that means I get an advancement if I do that.
Also true.
Okay, how would we set this up?
But isn't she smart? I'm just worried she's smarter than that.
Who?
I mean, obviously she'll send her guards in, but,
We won't
Because
get
it when
her,
the-
but
when
we'll
the
get
Lord's
someone,
coming
and
in.
that'll cause problems for the whole deal. Isn't that the point?
yeah.
I suppose so, but I was hoping it would be more clear that it was, something that the company did wrong, rather than some nefarious dwellers, or however you say the fuck that word.
Or either way, it'll be Either way, it might be a little bit of a wrench in their plans.
Okay.
So unless we just
how about
wanna-
this? How about we do multiple of these plans? All right. So we have 4 people here, and we have until morning.
Mhm.
Milo,
we also
sounds
gotta
like
get on.
you want to set up that prank right there. Shouldn't be too hard to execute from the sounds of it. I'm interested in either tampering with the bath, the water, or whatever, or making the masks less foolproof.
I think both would be good bases to cover.
I'm just putting
Where's-
this out here, that if you wanted to have Ella just stabbing the masks in this vault until, for the next hour, you could have her do that while you all split up to do the traps. Or depending on where you put the traps, may or may not split all up,
Make sure you all get a mask before we start stabbing them.
All right, I'm
That's a
grabbing a
great point.
mask.
Yep.
All of you. If we get stuck in here when something goes up, I don't want to have to worry about it.
We don't want a bad roll, as in if it rolls off and we have to run for cover.
Mhm.
Yes. These are glass.
They're well packed glass, but glass all the same. So
Not when they're not in the packaging.
that's true. That is true. But yeah, all right. So sounds like we have putting up the dropped jar trap, which are Milo and Ember are both working on that. Is that true?
Yeah.
All right. We have sabotaging the masks, which we're putting Ella on, and then we finally have Miffy sabotaging the demo mask. Is that correct?
And the water.
Oh,
I
and
wanted
the
to
water.
do-
Okay.
Actually, hold on. We're saying about a bath. Do you think that means they know a way to make the bad stuff go away if it gets on you?
Seems to be. the
Well, they can
implication.
wash it off if something goes wrong, yes. But
Well,
ideally, I think what will happen is they're going to test it with the mask. If anything should happen that's not supposed to happen, then they have the bath.
Yeah, and from the way it was said, it sounds like it's probably not just water. There's probably some special treatment they have to it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I think they might have soap. It's just the thing I've heard of.
Made from this thing called fat, wherever that's from.
Fish.
Did you know
Oh, yes.
that horse sweat is called lather and is used in soaps?
You know, I feel like I heard that at one point in time, but I forgot until just now. Thank you.
Miffy, you and
their
your
sweat, their sweat is white, and it looks like soap, and you actually can use it as soap, so it doesn't need to be fat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Miffy, you and your mythical horses.
They're terrifying.
Well,
But
Miffy,
let me tell you, I heard that you kill one horse and you get 1,000,000 soaps out of it.
wow, what a drop.
Big loot drop.
Miffy, when you go to the bath, just take a look and see if you can figure out what it is, in case something goes ass up and we need to bath ourselves.
I just sit in the water.
Well, that might work for some dirt and mud, but if it's this stuff, I want to make sure I get it all off fast as possible.
Oh, but I'm going to tamper with the bath. Maybe I can save some, I suppose.
Just take a look, see if you can figure out what's in it, if you can, or maybe take some. Just do that before you contaminate it.
Okie dokie.
All right, so
All right, so
got a plan?
sounds like we have a plan. So I think I want from each of you is Miffy. I think I want a sneak roll for you to try to find where this is. You're going to be moving quietly to search it out. Ember or Milo? What's the most appropriate thing here, I wonder?
Gosh, I was thinking about that over this. I guess for me, I was thinking wreck something, but I'm not that good. I don't think any of my roguish feats. Well, maybe pickpocket. If instead of taking something, I put it in a way that people don't notice.
Yeah, if you
wanna
reverse
count that?
pickpocket the door, that kind of applies. Let me take a quick look at the book to see if there's a roguish feat that we are missing that's applicable. Or rather, that no one here has. That's applicable. Let's see, we've
Ember
got
has-
acrobatics, blindside, counterfeit, disable device, hide, pickpocket, sleight of hand, and sneak. Okay, so I don't think anything here is quite the
Would disable device work in reverse?
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems to me the
Enable
most obvious
device.
thing. Yeah, we enable device. So why don't we do that? That's the most straightforward one to me. So yeah, let's enable device here, which I think Ember has, Milo does not. Does that sound
I will
right?
need help because it is a roguish feat in my finesse. For a roguish feat is -1.
I'm going to say
Well-
that in this case, Milo can help, even though Milo does not have enable device. And my reasoning here is Milo will be using his acrobatics to like stand up on a bunch of boxes and help the placement of it as the door is placed at just the
Yeah,
right
he's
spot.
done this before.
Yeah.
Just with water buckets and all.
Just a
Alright.
little different. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna get that roll from you two. All right, so
Okay.
Milo can mark an exhaustion to turn that into a weak hit.
That would be great.
All right.
God,
Thank you.
the one bad rolls, and it's gonna be over for us.
Yeah.
Luckily, yeah. Like if you had rolled a little bit lower, what would shattering glass and chemical weaponing yourselves have done to this plan? I wonder. But here we are. We're
Yeah,
fine.
we just poison ourselves, die. That's the end of the game.
Yeah.
Well, luckily,
Yeah,
Miffy's not in the room at the moment, so everyone but Miffy might have died. But
Avenge us! Woo!
all right. So as that is being placed, Miffy, you're out traversing the halls. Give me your roll as well.
Oh god, alright. Roguish feet. Well,
Mhm.
Oh, wonderful. And you don't have a reroll or anyone to help you.
All right.
yep.
Oh boy.
You still have your star?
Nope.
Nope.
Damn.
The star was used getting in.
I didn't
Yeah,
say-
I kind of figured this would be my fate.
This would.
Yeah.
All right. Let me breathe in. Think about how I want to. How do I want to do this? How do I want to kill Miffy? No, I'm kidding.
Killed on their way to a bath. The Miffy story.
Here's what I think. I think, Miffy, you find the bath before the consequences of this roll come to fruition. So let me describe what you find first, and you can just listen knowing that the sword of Damocles is hanging over your head for a little bit, and we'll get to that in a moment.
All right.
It takes some searching. You do have to leave the little area where the vault is, but it's still in the labyrinthine core of this manor, where there's no windows to the outside, no way to keep track of what time it is. There's a couple of points where you feel like you're doubling back on yourself, but you're the one who found the way in here to begin with. Surely, you wouldn't be getting lost now. And you don't. You remember a few moments when you've worked with Castor in the past. Not here, but in other places that she's had a designing hand in. Where she would put places like interrogation rooms, or where they would show off new equipment with little fights, skirmishes and things. The bath you can find due to the steam that's bleeding out into one of the halls. In the room, there's...
Wait, am I gonna walk in on someone showering?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
Why
like the steam bath was happening.
No. You open the door and peer inside, and you can see the flames going. The water is nearly boiling hot, and there's all sorts of different concoctions nearby. Some of them look almost mucus-like, right? Like, they have like a very gross texture on the side of their containers, and there's pretty big jugs of several, as well as in one of them what looks like a bunch of leeches all swirling around. This looks less like a bath and more like a torture chamber waiting for the heat to be turned up.
Oh my god.
But given what you know, perhaps whatever this powder does is, well, perhaps it's important, or perhaps it's dangerous enough to require such dangerous treatment. And it's as you are looking at the bath and looking at the components in there, starting to take a stock of it and go, all right, how can you sabotage this? You could kill the leeches. You could, what is this concoction? You hear the door shut behind you.
Oh god, of course. How cliche. Well, I look behind me.
Oh.
So, you're alive after all.
She's right behind me, isn't she?
Oh no. Milo is stacking a bottle on the side and almost drops felt a chill run up my spine.
It must be my lucky day. First I hear the Great Lord is desperate, and then I happen to notice the gasp of steam as I turn the corner, as if someone had opened the door to this very room. It's especially lucky to see that you survived, Miffy. Miffy, you turn around.
Why is that?
You turn around and you see Cruella Castor, a woman who, well, you've certainly worked with her quite a bit, so you know she's a beaver, a narrow and irregular tail, one that was cut during a fight a long time ago. And much as she left a scar all up your back, she has a scar all up her midsection and across her face, from where the claw of a bear tore into her and nearly took her life many years ago.
While I knew her, or after?
No, before you knew her. You never knew her when she was in her prime. You only knew her after her quote-unquote retirement, and she was still very fierce in retirement, right? She says, well, it's lucky for me, because you are always one of the most skilled blades in my employ.
And yet you stabbed me in the back! Why would you do it? Why would you throw me away like that when I was loyal to you? Loyal to the company!
She lets you yell.
Okay, well,
Right,
maybe
like,
I'm not yelling, but
what?
like,
Sorry.
I have pretty raised voice.
Yeah, okay, your slightly raised voice. Nods along. Because the company needed someone to take the fall. And blades, she examines the one that she keeps on her hip, are tools, Miffy. They're pointed in a direction. They're used. A knife doesn't care if it's used to cut a letter or a rib cage, or if it needs to be dropped. You've learned now, thanks to your experience, what I learned all those many years ago. That being a blade has value for a time, but there's much more purpose in being the one who wields it.
Must feel real smart with your little analogy there, huh? But guess what? This knife has a mind of its own, and it wants revenge.
Do you think you're going to get it? Right here. Right now. Do you think I walked in here without alerting anyone to our security breach? She takes another step forward. She's close to you, Miffy. She's in stabbing distance. I know you hate me, Miffy. But I wonder, why was it that you worked for the company? Was there a dream you had, something that you just couldn't afford or couldn't secure on your own? Because when I started working for a company as a mere blade myself, all I wanted was a nice wealth to live like the lords and ladies of the land I grew up in. But the thing about earning wealth as a blade is you don't get to keep it. You have to spend it on staying alive. She gestures to her own scars and looks at you, knowing the one you bear on your back. There are some within the company who have never been a blade, and yet they have as much wealth as they want. They have more wealth than they could ever control, and they still yearn for more. I think this is my lucky day, as well as yours. Whatever it was you dreamed of when you first joined the company, I'm telling you, you can have it. Because when I make this deal with the Great Lord, you and I are going to go to Port Prosper and take it for ourselves.
And why would you share that dream with me?
Because like I said, you were the most effective blade I had.
Ooh.
And Miffy, after all these years, training under me, working for me, do you really think you wouldn't be dead if I wanted you dead?
Oh, so I guess I should thank you that I was crippled for a while.
She takes a step forward, one of her wooden legs, clattering against the ground. No, there's no need to thank me for the past, but you can thank me for the future.
You've dropped me once before. There's no guarantee you wouldn't drop me again. I was the best then, and I'm still the best now. I don't see any reassurances for me, so there must be only one explanation for why you're doing this. Either you've grown some kind of conscience, which I doubt, or you're afraid of what I can do now. It's too close, isn't it? I'm too close to this. This is your one last score, and I'm in the way.
You are.
Isn't that right?
You are. And you know as well as anyone else that my blade hand is not what it used to be. And you can tell from where like the scar goes up her body. She has not been able to fight. She has not been able to like run ever since this encounter with the bear a long, long time ago, right? But Miffy, I'm not helpless. I know you're skilled, which is why I'm giving you this option to step aside, step out of my way. She's up right next to you now. And Miffy, I will add as an aside, she did just say that she let you live. You have no reason to believe that's true. You can believe it if you want. You also could believe it's not true. She is not the type of person who admits to mistakes, right? Just keep that in mind as well. But, you know, just wanted to make that entirely clear. Do you have something you want to say about, or do you have a response for her?
Yes. I look around, I look behind me, right? There's all this stuff, dangerous looking stuff. She's got the door closed. She is right up next to me. I'm looking a little sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
And I will hold out my hand to say, there's no second chances. So like, I'm offering my hand to her to make a deal.
All right. So if you are tricking her, I need you to roll with cunning.
Okay. Well, I am for sure.
So you need to roll trick an NPC.
Ooh.
This is too bad because I really want this to work.
I believe.
I will roll my cunning with -1.
All right. So you can roll trick itself if you scroll down a little bit.
What'd you say?
I said if you scroll down a little bit, there's something called trick an NPC that you can just click on.
Yeah, it's cunning. It's cunning.
Yeah.
With my -1 cunning. And
I believe.
yeah. All right. Here I go. Weak.
All right. So she doesn't take the bait yet. Or rather, I get to choose. Either she hesitates, they stumble and you get an opportunity, or they overreact. So, I assume you're trying to trick her and throw her into something, right?
No.
No?
No.
Mm.
I'm gonna use the cat's claw.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking in that case, she looks you over very carefully. You can tell she doesn't quite believe you, but she also doesn't quite distrust you. You're at a level of deceit that she doesn't expect from you, right? And she'll say before she takes your hand, when we used to train, Miffy, I would always say I wanted you to be the fighter, be greater than the fighter I once was. Keep making deals like this, and perhaps you'll be the greater merchant as well, once my time is done and past. And then she will reach forward and take your hand.
Okay, can I do my thing?
You can do it. So here's my question for you. If you just sting her with the claw, you deal 1 harm, basically, right?
I have 2.
What do you mean you have 2?
I have 2 claws. I have 2 poisons.
Oh, you have the 2 rings.
I do 2
Are they
harm?
both on the same hand? I guess that's possible, yeah.
Doubled up.
I also have, alternatively, I could have it on both hands. I could probably just have it on my dominant hand. Or, I'm smaller. I could have 2 hands to do a shake for her massive arm.
That's true. That's true. All right, I will ask you, either you can do minimum damage, which would be the 2, or if that's like if you're just going in for like the sting, right? Like a grip and then sting. But if you want to turn this into an attack, like a punch and like a, stab, you would roll Vicious Strike.
Oh, so what is more?
Vicious Strike has more damage potential, but she may be, if you roll poorly, she will be able to hit back. Whereas if you just deal 2 damage, you just deal 2 damage.
All right, let me look at Vicious Strike real quick. Where is that? Oh, I see. Hold on. Oh, that doesn't tell me anything. Okay, the strong hits, serious harm, +1. Does this actually help me? Because if it's just a +1 harm... Oh wait, is it in addition to the... It's in
addition, and they cannot mark wear on their armor to block it.
Oh, true. She probably has arm.
She is geared up.
God.
She's wearing gloves.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. If you want, basically you can either choose 2 damage for 3, or 3 unblockable damage if you succeed on a roll. That's
Ooh.
Right.
Am I a gambling mouse?
Does the poison do
My
damage
might's
over
pretty
time?
good. My might's a +2.
No, the poison that that we have on the rings is not a dot. It's just inflicts some harm.
Okay.
I guess I gotta go for it. Oh God, I'm sick inside.
All right, everyone, lend Miffy your strength.
All right, though I will say, I'm punching and running.
Right.
If I can, escape. But that's
if you roll well,
intent.
that's certainly possible. Let's see if you roll well. The nice thing about Vicious Strike is she doesn't get a counterattack. So.
Say a prayer for me.
Yeah, Miffy.
Oh, it's weak.
All right. It's a hit.
Oh, all right, so it's a weak hit. They suffer serious harm, +1, and they cannot mark wear on their armor to block it, but they score a blow against you as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Miffy,
but do I get to do 3 then?
You get to do 3 to her, and it's unblockable, which for her is a lot. That is a lot. However, we're going to talk about what she does to you after we narrate.
She drowns me in the liquid.
He leech boards you. Oh no.
She throws leeches at me. Ha
Gross.
So, Miffy, what does this look like for you to turn this handshake into a Vicious Strike, right? Like, what's your accent on it? Do you, like, grip her arms and, like, punch her in the gut? Do you get, like, in the wrists, where all the good blood vessels and veins are? Where are you? What makes this especially vicious?
I grip her hand, like, dig in with the claws, and then holding her hand still, I run up her face and kick her in the jaw.
Woo! Wait, what?
I run up her body and kind of do like
nails,
a flip on her body, but kick her on the way.
There's a very brief look of surprise in her expression as soon as you start to run those nails, but she's not fast enough to completely avoid it, right? And you're able to inflict your 3 harm. The poison begins to pulse through her, as well as the kick into her face. She stumbles, but does not release your hand in her grip.
Yeah, throw me against the wall.
She has to. Her right hand is not as strong as it used to be with the shoulder injury that she had before, but she grabs you with her left, and then with a swing, like, whips you around, draws her blade, and she'll take a swing through you and then throw you towards the door. There's a loud clatter as you strike the door. She gets to deal her harm to you. So she deals 4 points of harm whenever she harms someone because of how terrifying she is. You take 1 exhaustion harm and 3 injury as she adds she adds a nice scar to the wound to the front of your body to match the scar you have on your back.
Oh my god!
I am going to look at all my equipment and then mark some wear.
Yes, you can do that.
I'm going to mark a wear on my featherweight armor, which is at max now.
All right, sounds good.
I'm going to put a wear on my cloak, which is at max now.
All right.
That means I have 2 more.
Yep.
That I need to allocate.
At least one of them is injury.
Huh?
I said, and at least one of them is injury. I don't think you can mark wear on your rings to deflect this damage.
I don't think so. But I have wears on my knife. Can I do that?
That's for weapon moves, not for absorbing harm.
Oh, okay.
Typically, absorbing harm is for armor or things that are armor-like.
So, when do you use wear? Is it when you're attacking?
It's a lot of weapon moves will require you to use wear to
it will
roll
require you. You can't you do wear to do an extra point?
No. Or it'll be on a weak hit mark wear, but on a strong hit you don't, etc.
Okay, so I guess I'll just take the 1 injury and 1 exhaustion.
All right, sounds good. And you said you were running, right?
Yeah, she throws me into the door and I open it and I leave. I don't think I can... Can I wreck it before I leave? So it's hard for her to get out?
You can try, but if you fail, she may get another hit on you. I will say this, Miffy, you know that you're faster than her.
That's true. But, because once she runs, we're gonna run. And the whole thing's compromised.
Right, that's true. Although, right now, she doesn't necessarily know that you're here for the deal. She just knows that you're here for her, right? She doesn't know that you're here on the behalf of the Marquis or anything, right? So there are details that things could still get worse, is what I'm saying in terms of information, right? She doesn't have the full picture yet.
I guess then. No, I'm gonna risk. I'm gonna try to wreck something. All right,
we have to resolve this, and then we'll get back to the other group shortly. But all right, roll your wreck something. As you run through Miffy runs through the door, turns, and Miffy, you can see her having drawn her blade in her offhand, a blade carved from the fang of the same bear that nearly killed her.
Man, her and that bear just get married already.
No, the bear's pretty dead at this point.
Damn.
Marry the memory. Fuck.
All right, Miffy. You go to try to wreck the door, lock it shut, seal it on her, and as you're trying to push it closed, you push it closed, try to block her in. The blade goes through, hits Miffy, and then we cut back to everyone else. Miffy, we'll get to the consequences of that shortly.
Oh God.
We'll get back to the consequences of that shortly. It's been a little bit too long, I think, since we went to the other bit of the party.
Yeah.
So let's go back over. Let's go back over here. As party, you've got your trap set up. Ella is maybe halfway through sabotaging the masks when you hear an increase in foot traffic, a slight acceleration, as if you don't know exactly what's gone wrong with Miffy, but from the movement you're hearing, this doesn't sound like the movement of people waking up or getting ready for a meeting. It sounds like an alarm is starting. What are you doing? Miffy is almost certainly in trouble because everyone else is in this room. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, time to go.
Yeah, we need to skedaddle and find Miffy. Ella, when you were scouting, did you find out where they might have a decontamination room or somewhere important with lots of foot traffic?
I have a couple ideas, but no, I didn't see it.
Well,
I'll have to be fast.
we gotta do the normal method for finding Miffy and follow the screams.
All right. So, party here, I assume you're still trying to move as quietly as you can, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
sneak.
And I also have I still stashed away one of the bottles.
Yeah, one of the...
And
Yeah, we all have masks.
Everyone
Everyone
has a mask.
bottle. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, can someone grab like one more for Miffy when we get there? Or did Miffy carry one with her?
I think we grabbed it
Miffy
beforehand,
can
so
have
it's
one on
probably
her.
yelled at
tonight.
everyone too.
Okay. Well, then how did Corella recognize her if she had a mask on?
Doesn't mean Miffy was wearing it. Yeah.
Who's this Miffy? I'm just a...
Mr. Snowgood!
That would solve all our problems. Okay, yeah. Can we use sneak to try and get around and head towards where the screams are coming from?
Yes, sounds good. One of you roll, the other can assist.
Okay, I can roll sneak.
Nice.
All right, weak hit.
Very good. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Or
Would a
one
9
risk of
make it a
defeat.
strong hit?
Let me read out loud what the risks of defeat are, and you can decide. Your risks are breaking something, drawing unwanted attention, or plunging into danger. So I think what this would mean is, well, I guess you get to decide before I pick, so I don't have to explain what I would mean. But those are the kinds of things that can happen if you don't mark exhaustion.
And-
All right. Is 9 still a weak hit?
9 is 9 still? I believe so. Let me double check.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
we can still mark exhaustion to like get rid of whatever the thing would be.
Yes, you, Milo, because you are the one who are rolling, can mark the exhaustion.
All right, so
Yes.
Ember, I'm gonna need to rely on you because I'm getting tired.
Okay.
It'll be sneak.
All right, but you marked it, I assume. So
Yeah.
all right, so you're able to follow along. You eavesdrop a bit of conversation, and you hear a pair of company mercenaries whispering, one to the other, "What's going on?" Caster says there's someone here and that she might have friends, so just search everywhere. And the other one sighs, like, "Everywhere? Really? Nothing more helpful?" And so they say that, and they go into one of the rooms right as you all walk past where they were behind them, right? And they continue down the hall forward. But it sounds like they're less going to Miffy for reinforcement. They think that Caster has that under control. But they're searching for you guys and do not find you as you make your way through the halls. And you arrive through the twists and turns. Miffy, let's get back to you. You got a miss on that door. So here's what I think happened. Feel free to offer some suggestions if you like to make it worse for yourselves or make it worse for yourself in a different way.
When Caster stabs through the door, we are just coming up behind her to pull Miffy out, and she gets all three of us at once.
No, you guys rolled fine, so I won't do that to you. But,
Okay.
you know. I think it would be fair for her to inflict half of her usual harm on you through the door. I think that's reasonable. Half the harm.
So 2.
That's 2. You can take an exhaustion and an injury, or 2 injury, your choice.
Well, there it is. Okay.
All right.
I've got 4 more boxes left.
Okay.
All right.
How many does she have?
She did not look good after that poisoning. She looked awful.
She's got a little upset tummy.
Yeah, no.
How many injury boxes do you have?
I have 2 injury boxes, 2 exhaustions.
Remaining, right?
Yeah.
Because you marked where for the first set.
Yes.
So,
So you got like 6 injury. Wow.
Real quick, we're done setting up the traps. We have the vault trapped, right?
yep,
Okay.
you had the vault trapped, yes.
That was the intention.
Yep, the vault seems to, as far as you guys can tell, you got a successful roll. That vault is successfully trapped. So, yeah.
Woo! And at least half of the masks are done for.
Yep, and half the masks are done for. You didn't quite have the time to get to all of them, but, you know, sabotaged a good bit.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm reading the ring. Did I use all of the poisons or?
No, you used 1 from each. Mark 1 wear in each.
Oh, okay. That's where the wear is. Understood. Okay.
All After stabbing Miffy, so you guys see, the rest of you see Miffy get stabbed through a door. Miffy, how do you look right now?
I look like I'm stabbed, probably.
You look like
Fair.
like a little mouse kebab.
Yeah, so Miffy looks pretty stabbed. Miffy, you can see your allies running towards you. And then there's a brief beat of silence. The sword is not immediately withdrawn, though, of course, with the handle, it's not... You can't just, like... It can't go all the way through or anything. But you do have a brief beat. What are you doing? Are you running? Miffy, she is cornered in there, and you know you did hurt her a lot.
I know. The thing is, I kind of want to just get her now. I tried to run. It didn't work.
Miffy, we gotta go. We've moved the crate. It's out of here. And then I wink with one of the lenses of my compound eye.
So you're trying to pretend like we... But it's clearly
like we took
here.
everything so we can get people rushing in to see if it's good there. To see if it's still there.
But they're already gone. So she's
only
the
us
one
then.
up here. What are you going to say, Mordio?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, I thought I heard something.
No, I think that was Ember. Ember, what were you saying?
Oh,
What were you
okay.
saying?
I just said we're good. We go.
If we need to get you to a doctor.
Call a doctor, but not for me.
Actually.
Well, actually, I kind of misspoke there.
But actually, maybe me later.
Yeah, so I guess what I need to know, are you running or are you trying to get her?
I kind of wish they didn't talk. I kind of just wanted them to go so I could remain
Ooh.
and
Die or kill?
yeah, die or kill.
I mean,
Up to you guys. If you can tell them to go.
Yeah.
lead.
Shit. Yeah, I was like, okay, so you said you got all the things. It's time to go. I'm going to like use my foot to sort of like shoo you away as I'm trying to like push this knife or sword away. It's like, I'm sorry guys, I gotta be selfish right here. I gotta finish this off. You go on ahead without me. She dies tonight!
Miffy, you're gonna die tonight if you don't get out of here.
Don't mourn me.
Miffy.
All right, it's up to you two if you want to start fleeing, but you only got. I don't think you have much time to discuss this before Caster makes her next move. So
Yeah.
So I need
I'm
to
gonna
know
yell at everyone.
within a dialogue
Miffy.
exchange if you're going or staying. So
Miffy, we'll see you back at the butthole, and we're gonna flee.
Milo's starting to flee. I think Ella's of the same mind. She does not wish to get caught.
Yeah, she should. At the very least, Elle should go.
Yeah. What about you,
Yeah.
Ember? What's your choice here?
Ember says to Miffy. Ember goes up to Miffy, says, "Put on your masks. Put on your mask," and gives her one of the
Ooh, yeah,
balls.
yeah.
Wait, do you have the poison on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna throw it at her?
The poison for Caster.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Is Ember gonna throw it at her?
I mean, if you're busy.
Oh well, I mean, I can't. If you give me the poison, I'll throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ember literally goes up to you, shoving the poison in your paws, and says, "Put on your mask."
Oh, nice.
Okay. Come on.
All right.
Can I do that? Is it my turn?
There's no such thing as turns. If you start putting it on, if you take the time to put on a mask, then that means Caster has the time to do whatever it is she wants to do next, which could include shoving the door open in your face, or it could include something else, right? So you have to tell me what you're doing now as the party starts to flee.
Okay, I take the mask and the powder. I put on the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's time, I'm gonna throw it.
I put on the powder and I throw the mask. Wait, no.
All right. Miffy, you put on the mask. You put on the mask, and something that strikes you is she hasn't withdrawn the sword by the time you take the mask off.
So wait, visually, do I see her trying to?
No, you don't see the
does she
sword
not
moving
have
at
a
all.
knife
Like the sword is
anymore?
now wedged through the door, and it's blocking any
Ooh.
vision of the other side.
Okay. So she like stabbed me through it, and now she's just in there.
She's in there, and you don't currently have vision on her.
All right, I'm gonna tell. Okay, so Ember said, "Put on the mask." Handed me the poison.
And then we started running.
Yep, and then you
started running. I will. I'm thinking I'll put some of the powder on the floor.
Okay.
Some of it, not all of it.
Just like outside the door?
Yeah, outside the door. So like at the very least, someone's stepping on it can like kick it up. It's bad. Like that's still a biohazard there.
Yeah.
And then if she's not opening the door, I'm going to... how do you do it in, like, video games, right? You, like, open the door, throw it, and then close the door?
Breach and clear?
Yeah. Well, not so much breach and clear because she's trying to, like, close it after her, right? Like, clear, you usually go in and sweep everyone, right? But
breach, bang, and then breach.
It's like without the clear part, just breach and flashbang, right? Except for this time,
maybe I go into the room, lock myself in, and throw the powder and continue to wail on her.
All right, Miffy. So here's what I'm gonna have you do. I'm gonna have you roll before you see the inside, right? And then we'll describe what happens based off of how well you roll. So this is going to be a target someone roll, because, right?
Let me see.
Or actually, I assume it's target someone because you're throwing the jar at her, right? Like you open it, pour some out, and then you throw it at her, right? Or are you?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and I mean, it's still gonna hit something and break.
Yeah, it's still gonna hit something and break, no matter what. Well, I shouldn't say no matter what. I can actually think of a scenario where it doesn't. So, and maybe you could too, but.
It lives in the leech tank, mutates the leeches.
Yeah, if I have time, I'll get the leeches.
No, I'm just saying you misthrow it, it lands in the leech tank and somehow like mutates the leeches.
No! Alright, so target, where is that?
Okay, everyone, come on, give your energy to Miffy.
It's one of the weapon moves.
Oh, I see it, okay. 8.
Alright.
Okay.
You inflict injury.
Alright. So Miffy, you throw open the door, realize that she has left her position on the other side, gotten halfway into the bath, and has her own jar that she was getting ready to throw.
Oh no!
So what essentially what happens is
jars exactly to
you throw it at each other, and her plan was to dip into the bath briefly, while your plan is to have the mask on. Now, fortunately for both of you, I suppose, you are both at least somewhat insulated against this, and your move does not give her the opportunity to deal extra harm or anything like that. So I think that means you're a little bit faster. You come in and you do manage to hit her with the jar.
Not the jar.
Yeah, you do manage to hit her with the jar itself, and there's like an explosion and a cloud. She pulls up her collar, up. I started demonstrating as if I can do that with my model, it's like she pulls up her collar over her face, like her shirt over her face, to like keep it out for at least a moment while she takes aim herself. I'm gonna mark wear on her armor from just the jar impacting her and the fact that it's around her. Looks like she's about to return fire. Miffy, are you just running in with the knife?
Yeah, I'm gonna stab her in the bath. I mean, like, she has to breathe it in. She cannot defend herself and do this. This is the best time. I have the mask.
All right, engage in melee.
What did you say?
She would also have to start breathing eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I think what Ember's saying, you don't have to go in. She will start breathing eventually. And Miffy's like, no, I gotta go in.
Oh, my bad. Well, actually, can I, instead of charging it in with my knife, can I use my cat's ring? Because I can use it from a distance, a short distance.
That would be target someone as well.
Yeah, so I'll do that.
All right, so you can take that shot.
Can I invent a toaster and throw it in the bath with her?
If only we had a toaster in our inventory.
Yeah, a toaster.
We had electricity.
I gotta roll good this time, right?
Please.
Yes!
Oh.
Ooh.
All right. You fire. This time she's aware of your poison ring, so as soon as you manage
Well, she doesn't know that it's, short range.
She doesn't know that, but when she sees you starting to raise something to fire, I think
Yeah,
she
fair
reflexively turns portions of her armor, and I'll mark the 2 points of wear against the rest of her armor as she takes that hit. And seeing that you have the mask on, I think what she's going to do is she's going to close...
I can inflict injury again.
Oh yes, that's right. You can inflict injury again. Wait, no,
So
you can't.
So do I target again? Or...
So you would have to expend the entirety of your other ring in this case. This move is
That's
typically
fine.
for like a bow where you have like, arrows and such, like, shoot twice, right? So if
Yeah,
you
she's
want
gonna get all the poison. All the poison.
Oh, every poison imaginable.
All right, if you want to expend your second ring, you can expend the second ring before she reacts. All right, you expend the second ring. This time, she continues to block, but it looks like part of the needle is able to stick through and get her. She looks absolutely awful, as if she is on the cusp of defeat. However, she will, upon seeing that you don't have the mask, or that you do have the mask on, she's going to rush from the bath through the cloud, which looks like it takes considerable effort for her to do. Close the distance, and she just tries to basically tackle you, grab you by the face mask with the jar raised high in her hand, like she's about to smash it against your head, right?
The thing is, if she gets the full injury on me, that's all my boxes. She just needs one good hit.
Yeah.
No, don't say that.
Really, it comes down to this next roll. She has closed the distance on you successfully. She's attempting to bludgeon you. If she doesn't get the mask off, she's trying to bludgeon you to death with the jar, right? Like that. These are the two things that are about to happen if she succeeds. So, Miffy, what do you do as she leaps onto you, right?
Are you asking like what kind of attack I'm going to do?
Yeah, are you fighting back with your knife? Are you trying to do some fancy footwork to evade her grapple attempt? What are you trying to... Not really a grapple, but
Right. So what kind of moves would those be? If I'm attacking, I kind of know what that is. But
yeah, like if you're fighting back, you're engaging melee. If you are trying to get out of the way, I think you're probably... If you're trying to yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like, what else would you be trying to do? I suppose, right? That's up to you. What else you're trying to do.
Yeah, like if she's grappling me, is that like?
It's like you could try to run. You could try to just escape her, right? Like if you just want to get out of here. But if you're trying to, if your intent is to just fight her to the death, then I think engage in melee is your only option.
Okay, let me look at engage in melee real quick. Sorry, I don't know this.
This is the one where you both suffer harm.
Okay, so do I get the hit first or what?
It would be simultaneous, I believe.
Well, it's simultaneous because of the choices, right? So
engage in
you're
melee
not
says,
rolling, right? You're not rolling, right?
No, only you roll.
Right, okay. So yeah, so this is all my move in one. So if I get a strong hit, I can inflict harm and suffer little harm. So at best I can get rid of maybe up to 2 harm and have 2 left, and while still doing an injury. At worst, well, I think I just die. But
Please, no.
You find out with this roll, I think.
I think this is like a chess move right here. Like I've cornered myself and her, and it all depends on this one roll.
I think that's exactly what's about to happen.
Well, I had a fun time playing Miffy, so this is this is it.
Miss forever, please.
All right, well, I gotta engage in melee. Unless there's some other thing I can't. I don't think I would grapple her.
No, I don't think you would. I think your choices are either decide this is enough and run, or engage in melee. Like that seems to me to be the two.
So is it engage in melee, or can I target again before she closes the distance?
I don't think so. I think you already got the benefits of targeting her 3 times.
I have only one choice, guys. I only have one choice. Here we go. Wow.
And that's a miss.
Oh.
And so I think what happens is she gets in, and on a miss, she's able to grab you by the mask, which you're not used to having on your face, smash the jar into the side of your head, and then lift the mask up and then like snap it back once some of the powder gets inside. Miffy, you take you take 4 points of harm. So what does that put you at?
Well, it depends. Where can I put them?
You would take, typically it's 3 injury and, well, no, that's with her sword. With her sword, it's 3 injury and 1 exhaustion. So I think I could see an argument for 2 and 2.
Okay, well, if it's 2 and 2, then I'm at full boxes.
All right.
No.
What she says as this happens is, like she manages to smash it, grab you by like the mask, lift it up, and so the powder is getting in. I assume Miffy is like coughing and choking and sputtering on it as, oh yeah, I should describe what it feels like. Miffy, it feels like you're breathing in essence of pain. Like as you inhale, you can feel through your mouth, through your throat, through your lungs, just spreading like you're being stabbed everywhere inside.
They invented asbestos.
It gets in your eyes. Your eyes are stinging. Even the more exposed parts of your ears, which were like tucked into the mask, now sting. Luckily, the fur helps insulate the rest of your body a bit. But like even just being in this room, if you were in this room for a prolonged period of time, you probably would take injury. But you feel the stinging, and she like snaps the mask back against your face and says,
"No,
don't worry, it's not fatal if you're not a cat." And then she grabs her sword from the door, like behind you, pulls it. This might be, however, and she's gonna turn.
It's only fatal to cats?
Oh no, it's a fucking fern.
What the hell? It's some kind of it's like that flower that cats can't
Orchid or something. Yeah, holly or something.
Poinsettias are one of them.
Miffy might be onto something, or Nova might be onto something there. Suffice to say, that's not everything in the blend, but I picked out a bunch of fun real-world plants for this one. So this was a fun toxicology research for me.
It's so fun.
It definitely didn't get me put on any lists, anyone. I did not get put on any lists at all. But anyway.
I'm surprised.
Anyway, Miffy, since your boxes are full but not overmarked, that means that you are technically still alive. It's only when you're... I believe. I'm going to double check that right now. I believe it's only when the box bleeds over.
Yeah. That's what we've been doing so far.
Yep. It's only when the box bleeds over. And I will state for you, from the... If it wasn't clear from your last roll, she is also at boxes all full. So...
Oh boy. So you're saying I can roll again?
I'm saying that she has her sword ready to plunge into you while you're suffocating on pain powder.
I can't handle this.
And you are beneath her, but have your trusty knife. Who's faster?
I hope this kills us both.
No.
At the very least, she has to die. Like,
yes.
All you have to do is not roll a miss, and you kill her.
I have no reroll.
Yep. Oh, this is
well,
it.
That's the only thing I can do. It's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give me the
Is it engage in melee then?
Yep. Same thing.
All right. If I get, however, a 9 or like something, like if I get a 6, I could bump it up using a wear, right?
No, not unless you have something that lets you do that.
Sorry, that's something else. All right. Just making sure I have everything, so I'm not kicking myself later.
Yeah, no, fair.
Additional harm if I deal harm on a hit. That's...
Should have stayed.
Well, the good news is, because you guys got a successful sneak roll and mark the exhaustion, that means you get to escape scot-free. I'm not going to make you roll again.
No, we paid the ultimate price. We lost our Miffy.
But also, no one's coming after us. And Miffy has a chance.
I currently have a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Sorry, I'm just reading this.
Okay.
This also means that whoever goes into the secure space next will be doused.
Yes, that's also true.
Gonna hurt a lot to them, but it's fine. They're not cats. They're not cats.
So, can I not use the cat's ring as a small distance?
It's now completely exhausted. You have fired twice at range.
I have another ring. I had two rings.
When you fire the ring at range, it uses all the remaining charges. So
but that was just the one ring. I only fired
you used
it once.
and then you triggered harm a second time on your strong hit, which I said you would have to use the other ring for.
Oh, okay, my bad. Understood. All right, well, I'm just gonna stop pitting around and just do it.
Just do it.
Here we go.
If you roll a double miss, then it sucks to be Miffy. But if you get... Alright, trade harm. Miffy, what does it look like to kill Caster as you yourself are on death's door?
Yeah.
I think I throw it. I throw it into her forehead before she gets me. But because I suffer harm, probably.
I think what happens is this, then. If that's the end of your description of you killing her.
Yeah, she probably falls still on me.
She draws her blade from the door, looks poised to strike Miffy's knife up into her head, and she slumps forward, her blade cutting into Miffy's ear. Miffy, I'll let you decide if it's the same ear or the opposite, if that's even relevant in the future. And then she falls on top of you, Miffy, and your mask is pushed against your face with that pain powder, and it sears through you. Though she does not deal you harm with her blade, the powder that's making its way through your system overwhelms your ailing body, and you fall unconscious.
Unconscious?
No one really wants to see Miffy die. Damn.
Well, it's always been unconscious if you go over the boxes. We just usually do more than the boxes, which is when people die.
So, are you
and
saying
usually
it hit
Miffy's
my
trying to kill
box?
people, so I assume if they go over. Sorry, what was that, Miffy? What's your question as you're fading from existence?
Wait, okay, so I'm dying. I am dying.
You are technically speaking, you are unconscious now, and probably, I mean, you're certainly bleeding. So it depends on if someone.
I think that's all. That's all, folks.
No.
Miffy!
Miffy is happy. She before. Okay, so what happens is the knife throws it into Caster's forehead, and before she falls on me, Miffy just lets out like one last kind of smirk, like, "That's what you get." And then she falls on top of me, poison in my mouth.
Oof. Nicely done.
But actually, you know what? I have an idea. I was going to continue narration there, but actually, yeah, let's have her fall on top the poison, reducing Miffy to unconsciousness, and let's take our break. It's an hour and 50 minutes in. Let's take a quick little break, guys. 5, 10 minutes.
Full Metal Alchemist this.
No.
And we will figure out when we get back what this means for the rest of the group, who I would say with Caster dead and whoever steps into the vault next getting pain powdered, certainly the deal is going to be modified at the very least. There's only one party now to make this deal, which
and no
does
one
delay
knows
plans, but it doesn't
know about
remove
it.
Sorry, what was that, Miffy?
And no one knows that they were here.
No one knows that they were here. No one knows that the Marquis is responsible, at least in part, for it. But, well, what remains of the powder is still perhaps more in Eyrie hands than it ever was, with the company leadership gone. So there's still things to resolve here, but we'll deal with that when we get back in 5 to 10 minutes.
God.
Happy commercial
All right.
break, everyone.
Get some tissues for all your tears.
And drink water.
To refill
We're
your
back.
tears.
All right, and we are back. Well, except for Miffy. Miffy's sort of... Well, we'll deal with Miffy later. But we are
Miffy's
back.
in white now.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Satisfied. Look,
Ghost.
smiling again.
Well, with that Miffy staring at us from the bottom right corner of stream, we move to Ember, Milo, and Ella, who have, I assume, taken up a position somewhere within sight, but still distant from the manor, as the alarm has been run at this point, and people are, the guards are expanding out to see what accomplices, if any, Miffy may have. So, as that is happening, Milo, Ember, minutes pass. The guard patrol, or the guards within the manor, eventually, some of them leave, and you see them run and grab Eyrie guards who come into the manor and who start spreading out. You have to reposition a few times. You do have a place that you rented, so you're able to lay low there.
Mm.
But as time passes, Miffy does not emerge from the manor.
Mm.
Do the two of you say anything to one another? Speculate out loud? Or is it a tense silence?
We're very tense, just looking for any sign of her.
Is it the next day?
Yeah, if you're very tense and quiet, then I think we move to the next day, or actually even just a few hours later, when you see a rather large contingent of Eyrie guards move into the manor. They're headed by a man, an egret, mostly white feathers, with a shock of vibrant green around the eyes, and a bit of a yellow crest hanging down the back of the head. Those Eyrie move into the building, and Ella, who's with you, points out that egret as the Great Lord, arriving for his meeting despite the events of the previous night. Or rather, she says arriving, and Ella speculates if it's still for the meeting, but doesn't quite look like it with such a large procession. And over the course of the next few hours, you witness what appears to be the Eyrie taking control of the manor. The company employees and mercenaries are all brought out of it. They're not like arrested or anything, right? They're not imprisoned in any way, but they're all brought out of the manor, sort of waiting within the fence, but in the garden, as what it looks like the Eyrie does a full sweep thereof. I think it's at this point that Ella says, I don't know if your friend's coming out, but I think she did a lot of damage either way. I'm sorry.
We should wait a little bit longer. Sometimes she gets into a lot of trouble, but
Well,
yeah.
If you want to wait around, I'm going to go put my ear to the ground and try to gather information.
Please let us know. And then she pauses, like not sure how to continue that sentence.
I think assuming you two stay where you are and, don't go out to do anything dangerous yourselves, we can skip ahead further until Ella gets back. But if you want to do anything yourselves, feel free. But imagine, I don't know, the two of you, with what Ember just said, maybe you'd wait a little bit longer before doing anything drastic.
Yeah, let's let time pass.
All right.
Ember isn't going to do anything drastic, but I think that she will put on some nicer clothes and go to like one of the local cafes to do some gossip eavesdropping.
Mm-hmm.
Milo gets to the butthole and waits there.
Oh. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Are you going to go down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your
Okay.
paperwork is still technically valid, right? I mean, it would be a little bit... You would just be like, oh yeah, I came up the other day, I left my stuff up there at this point, right? So you should be able to come back up if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Ember's
head down.
going to do some dropping first.
Yeah. So sounds good. So Milo will be checking out down below. And up above, Ember will be gathering information. So, Ember, I think... Why don't you give me a read a tense situation roll here while we're up top? Because it certainly is a tense situation.
Yeah.
Weak hit. All right, you get a question, which I think I can probably guess what kind of question you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, keep in mind the questions are limited by what the people around you would know, but what is it that you most wish to know?
Who died? Who died in the manor?
It takes a few hours for the rumors to start to bleed, right? Until a few of the Eyrie guards have left from that initial sweep. And the answer that you hear is that the company woman who owned the manor was killed.
That it?
That's the rumor that goes around. Yes. You don't.
Well, something.
If there was a criminal killed, it is not a part of the current rumors being passed or the public story. Right?
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Ember knows that Miffy wouldn't have left until she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least she is dead.
Right.
So, while not knowing anything else, there is at least that small mercy
That's true.
That was what Miffy wanted.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. So with that in mind, I assume that, I don't know, comforts Ember at least a little bit, but I don't know if that really does much for your stress levels.
No, but like she can't do a whole lot else other than listen to rumors and buy fancy crepes or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
To cheer herself up, buys a nice necklace.
Retail therapy.
I've got the money.
Oh, you do.
All right. So you get that information from up above. Ghost of Miffy. If I recall correctly from last session, you were saying that not many people knew about the Budhole, just a couple of close family members, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, you sound so excited, but I was saying that in a way it's like, so probably not a lot of people would be coming here very often, right? So Milo probably...
But I mean, Milo and Ember know.
Right.
Because they're my buds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Milo, you find yourself in the Budhole, looking out over those same sites that we saw Miffy looking out over a few last session, right at the beginning of last session. You can see the docks slowly decaying, various warehouses, the people going about their lives unaware that a murderous mouse may have in fact also died. But
yeah,
you're waiting a while, and I think it's probably that evening Ella delivers information to the both of you. Actually, no, probably the next morning, early the next morning. Ella delivers information to both of you. I assume at this point, Milo, you either would have come up or they both came down to you. I don't know if you guys have a preference. Or who you
I'm
think.
staying where, I'm staying here.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Ember will go down.
All right. So in that case, Ella probably comes to Ember, asks where Milo is. You know, and so the three of you head down. As you might have heard already, Caster herself is dead. And it seems that Great Lord Alba took control of the manor in name of security. Took control of the manor and all of its contents. But I heard from one of the more loose-lipped guards that they are testing some of the Eyrie's wares on a captive. I wasn't able to hear any details this guard didn't know. But I struggle to think of what other captives there might be, unless Caster had one ready and waiting for the demonstration, which I suppose is possible.
Milo looks up and gets up off the little bench he was sitting on, goes, "Oh, we gotta find out now who it is."
Do we know where the testing is?
So no one that I heard of, and certainly, Ember, you didn't hear when you were looking for rumors either, because you only had the one question.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear of them moving anyone, but I did hear of them moving boxes. And a box could easily hold a person, especially if they were unconscious. I expect if we're going to find her, we'll find her in the Great Lord's estate somewhere. I'm sure he has dungeons on site. And then she stops for a moment, sighs, and says, "I'm sorry, I said we. I don't mean that. I can't be caught with you. We cut it pretty close before. But
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm happy to continue to support you with information. I can help you scout out the building. But
Yes, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Is that in it's not in Featherflight, is it, or?
it is. It's up above in the upper city.
I see.
It's more guarded than Caster's was. And, well, neither of you are birds. Caster at least was more... she had more diverse employment. It would be easier to blend there. But someone who aspired to Apex doesn't have non-birds in his employ.
Of
So
course
you'd be
not.
limited in your means of entrance. We're ahead of
If you
ourselves.
can give us,
Let's go take a look.
if you could give us information, that would be great. Yes. Also, make sure that the Marquis gets all of these little pieces and details to figure out how to defend against them, because I have a feeling that they're still going to be used. Or
Yes.
maybe at least recreate the masks. This does not need to be bigger than this.
My thoughts exactly. You and your friend, done a lot to disrupt it. Killing Castor will mean that even if the company itself wants to supply the Great Lord with more of this, it will take time to replace her and her connections, to take what she knows from whatever assistants know it or whatever paranoid ledgers she kept it in, and spread it to other company employees. We've bought time. And then she would look at the mask that she herself has, right? Since everyone took one. I can only hope it's enough. I have to send this. I'm going to send this now, and then I'll meet you up top. Go scout the manor.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine somebody else had some of the poison, right? Or was it just Ember?
I imagine if Ember took one, then Ella probably would have taken one for similar reasons, right? It's just like at this point, one's already missing. A second one missing isn't going to be an extra, surprise. So I'm sure she would have taken one just to have in case something went wrong. So we have to find out what's in this and what exactly it does. So I'm afraid that right now your friend might be learning exactly that. And we probably get a very, very brief cut to Miffy, who has been with wounds only minimally treated in a room filled with the pain powder for 24 hours.
Ooh!
Where at this point it
24
has
hours.
begun to sit into the fur, so that it's a full-bodied agony.
Oh, they're marinating me.
No.
They've done marinated the mouse.
They're salt-curing her.
That's it. We just get a brief look.
Am I
We move
conscious?
back to the
What's
group.
Miffy doing during this?
Yeah, am I conscious?
You were minimally treated so that you would not be dead. I imagine Miffy is in and out of consciousness just from sheer pain. But Miffy, you know what? You've endured a lot at this point, so if you want to say that you're not passing out from pain, I will permit that. I don't know if that's better for you, but I will permit that.
Well, I think Miffy's just moaning in pain, probably. Can't really think about much.
Oh, God.
All right. So in that case, we just get the shot of Miffy in pain, and then back to the party. So, team, we're gonna head up and scout. Which, you know this. You know this procedure. You were scouting out Castor's Manor. You're gonna go back up. Maybe pretend to sell your water ice or your shaved ice for a little bit, which is going to be a little bit...
Someone asked, "Hey, where's Mr. Snowgood? I liked that guy."
Unless Ember's willing to wear the mask, heavy as the head that wears the Snowgood mask.
No.
If it's less, then Milo has to hand out the food.
That's true.
I put on the mask to hide my tears.
No! Oh no, it's mouse size.
Mouse
Devour
size
you.
never worn for sale.
Yeah, and to be clear, you don't actually have to put on the thing, but I imagine if you're, like, trying to be in the area and, like, asking questions, getting information, then you probably do want to have it on and be doing business. As,
Yeah.
you know, the best way to conceal yourself is by being obviously there for a different reason, right? I would like to have... I will say you guys get at least a day's worth of rest in somewhere safe. So you can...
I get a day's worth of
No,
rest?
you do not. You very much explicitly don't have any rest. In fact, mark all your depletion too.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, my depletion.
Yeah,
right.
they took all your
So
stuff. Get rid of all your depletion.
No,
So,
not
like-
my stuff.
So like what? Like unmark how many?
Oh yeah, for you two, you can each unmark an exhaustion from a single night. You could delay longer to rest up further, but each night you delay is another night of Miffy in captivity.
Yeah.
I am fine. After one night.
All right. Let me take a quick look at the book to see if there's anything extra that perhaps money can accelerate. Right? Let's see. Ooh, an exceptional meal can clear, or a notably good meal, or an exceptional meal could clear more exhaustion. So I have a hard time imagining this, but it would be very funny for Milo to spend a lot of money on a very fancy meal and be sobbing and get some exhaustion back. But I don't know if that's something Milo would do. So
that's something I would do, but probably not Milo.
yeah.
Okay, but Ember, one of her drives is like gluttony or something. Let me see if I can. Yep, nature is glutton.
So what if Ember could be the one who stress orders a 7-course meal at a 3-star establishment and brings Milo along, right? That's also possible. If that's what you guys, if that's something you two want to do. As you said, Ember doesn't need it, but
Ember doesn't need it, but she would indulge if given the opportunity.
You gotta eat your sadness away, you know?
Yeah.
And what better way than to be in the high society part of the upper city than being in the high society eatery, spending high society money? You know?
Yes.
You'll really
I've
blend
always
that
wanted
way.
to try Le Grill.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, the gruel?
Le Grill.
That's funny.
All right. So I'm gonna say that because depending on how fancy you want your food to be, if you each, and now unfortunately, like I'm assuming Ember's eating with Milo, which is why I'm saying each, even though Ember doesn't need stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you each spend 3, then you would get an extra 1 box Milo, and if you each spend 5, you can have an extra 2 boxes, and if you each spend 7, you can have an extra 3 boxes of exhaustion.
I'll spend 5.
All right, I guess Ember, you technically would only have to spend 3, I suppose, if you want a less fancy meal than Milo. But do you want a less fancy meal than Milo? No. Yeah, so you both spend 5. You get some really nice food that we're not going to focus on because I want to see how close you get to rescuing Miffy this session. So we'll fill in the details of that fancy meal later. For now, give me your read a tense situation. And I think in this case, I want you both to roll because I want to give you maximum number of chances to ask questions, and then we're going to cut into it. All right.
Oh wow! I saw Ember's first. Wow.
All right, we got.
You got it.
14 and 8. Yep, that's a strong hit and a weak hit. So between the two of you, you have 4 questions. Choose them well because after these questions, I'm asking you what your means of infiltration will be. Yeah. So.
Okay, so my first one. What would be the best way in?
Best way in. Now, luckily for you all, compared to Captain Castor, whose manor was pretty decorative, the Great Lord's manor or estate is a lot more established, right? Castor's was new. You could see like the construction where the garden was being built, but was not yet finished. Here, there's like groves of trees, there's gardens, there's all sorts of, there's luxuriant growth that you can, well actually it is winter, but like, you know, even some of the shrubs would still have their, you know, their leaves and such. So there's plenty of plant life to hide yourselves within as you approach the building. Your best bet being as creatures who cannot fly would be either to jump the fence or do the same maneuver as before, climb up one of the canopy and drop down in over the fence and go into some of the shrubs. That would get you past the gates. Your alternative is to go into the second or third floor of the building from the canopy directly. What you learn in other questions may help determine which of those would be a more preferable approach for you.
Okay, so...
What's security like?
All right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair second question. Security here is honestly, in terms of amount, not too different from Castor's. Castor, there was only a few patrols of a handful of people. However, Castor's security, it was clear that they were not really expecting anything being in the upper city. Like, they were already beyond, like, they were within a level of security already at that point, and they were relaxing. Here, because of Castor's recent demise, though there is no increase in numbers, there is certainly a heavy increase in alertness. There's a patrol on the roof, like on the upper level of the estate at all times, as well as 2 patrols that circle the fences. And you can't quite tell from outside, but you think it's safe to assume that there are patrols within as well, and all of them are likely equally alert as the ones on the exterior. They look like they are actively searching out threats, keeping an eye on anyone suspicious who hangs out too long.
Mm-hmm.
Where would they most likely keep Miffy?
You think about the options here from what you can see and what you can imagine. You look at the building. Unlike Castor's, you don't think this one has a labyrinthian inside. From like what windows you're able to glance into, there's a lot of like grand halls and things like that. You don't think the Great Lord would give up space for that like identical twisting tunnels that Castor did. So you rolled a strong hit. I think I can give you some fun information. First thought, it would be somewhere that Miffy can't escape from easily. And so you think, okay, maybe one of the towers. But if it was a tower, Miffy could climb. They would probably assume so as well, even with guards on the roof. Probably better than a tower would be somewhere underground. But up here, this is an artificial land. Like the soil here isn't that deep. There is something holding it up. Then you remember Miffy's butthole.
The butthole!
And how it's a natural tunnel in the tree that Miffy then, expanded upon and made into a little secret base. Now, you have no guarantee that this manor has access to something like this. But if you were a fancy noble on top of a town built on a tree, you would probably have such a prison. Either that or an escape tunnel, right? Like,
Yeah.
Now, granted, if it's being used as a prison, it's probably not easy to escape from, which means getting in might be easier than getting out if you don't succeed at being very quiet with it.
So either way, we gotta get her out. It's gonna be a real tough butthole to get into.
Gotta really squeeze yourself in that butthole.
Gotta get real limber for it. All right, we got one more. You have any thoughts, Zipper?
We already talked about the best ways to access, right?
Yeah, either going through the garden or dropping from the canopy onto through a second or third floor, like onto the roof and then into a second or third floor window.
Could they find the tree that they're rested on and just try to enter from below?
digging takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And not impossible, but also would need some measure of luck.
We end up back at Castor's place. Oh, we end up in the butthole. We fall through. We fall through the ground. We end up in the butthole again.
Meow, 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 Silver.
Yo.
Welcome,
Hello.
Silver. Miffy's
Silver,
in
you picked
danger.
Sure is. It's been a bad time for Miffy fans especially. And I'm Miffy fans.
Yeah, let's get this last question in, though.
I can't think of anything.
I had one. Oh my god.
I believe in you.
If there's anything adjacent you want to ask, feel free to come up with other stuff as well. I don't know. Anything whether regards to like the Great Lord.
Do we know if anyone else besides Miffy is being held captive right now?
I think as far as you are aware, the answer to that is no. This place is a little bit away from the the battlefront, right? Like they would probably be using Iron Root, which is closer to the front lines. If they had captives, which you guys were there. So
Yeah.
Okay, so there's prisons.
There's no man in the Iron Mask situation where the rightful heir to the apex is like hidden away.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, so team, what's our approach inside? Are we going through the gardens? Or are we going through the roof?
Let's say gardens.
Yeah.
Stay as low to the ground as we can.
All right, sounds good. Give me a stealth roll or sneak roll, whatever it's called.
Okay.
You get a +1 from using the scouting to stealth in.
Okay. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. And Ember, you have sneak as well, right?
What?
I said you have sneak as a skill as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we only need one roll for the party. All right.
We just phased through the wall of the fence and go inside the manor.
You quickly hop the fence over through the shrubs, find yourselves at some of the windows. I assume. Oh, actually, good question to ask. Are you going at night or during the day? During the day, more windows will be open, but you'll be easier to spot. At night, more things will be sealed, but it'll be harder to see you.
We already made the roll, so we've succeeded, right?
Yeah.
Whatever makes it easiest for us. So
there's no easiest, just consequences that may or may not come up, right?
You know what? Let's go during the day. Let's go at like a few hours before dusk.
Sounds good. All right, so at this hour, some of the windows would still be open, allowing you to slip onto the first floor. I assume from here you're just trying to find your way down, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not going to make you roll again for sneak, but what I will do is I'll cut again briefly to Miffy. Miffy, you're being asked questions every once in a while. A bird will come in with a mask. You're thoroughly bound when this happens. And also, you're in no condition to deal with the fact that the masked guards...
Do they know that the masks have been tampered with and have slashes in them?
You know what? Miffy, you probably have some vague memories of the first time people came into the room with you, it being very funny for you. And it not going the way they expected. At this point, the one voice that you hear the most has a consistently good mask. Every once in a while, one of the guards that comes in with him does not, and it's once again funny for you. But there is a smaller bird with a white front, jet black streak of feathers across the eyes, ruddy wings, and a vibrant red on his back. And he asks you again, Miffy, the same questions as last time. And how would you rate your pain right now?
How
1
would I
to
rate
10.
my pain?
1 to 10.
I mean,
the degree.
Oh, right.
Oh my
So
God.
they're asking me this, right?
Yep, they're asking you this.
I don't know. Well, I guess I wouldn't say. Oh, I know. I'll hold up a middle finger and say 1.
Middle paw.
Yeah, hold on, let me let me just read this excerpt from the real life plant this is partially based off of, that's in the blend, the pain-causing plant. Notorious for its extremely painful sting, which may leave victims suffering for weeks or even months. It is reputed to be the most venomous plant in this continent, if not the world. After contact, it will feel immediate severe burning and stinging at sight of contact that continues to intensify over the next half hour and will last from hours to several days before subsiding. So that's the description there. You know. Yeah, you hold up the finger.
I imagine if I am hurting that bad, I can't say much.
Yeah,
so.
you mainly hold up the fingers.
Yeah, I'll do doubles if you know, as they come by, you know.
He frowns and says, you know, the sooner you're helpful, the sooner the experiments can end. Though, of course, there is some minimum waiting period. We do have to determine if they were telling the truth about it being lethal or not. Have you been able to keep down your food today?
Puke on him.
I spit in his face.
I see. I suppose we're not going to get more answers right now. Well, if you change your mind, remember, the pain will end eventually. It's up to you how long that takes. And you'll leave. I don't know if you're saying stuff, Miffy, but I see your mouth moving. What?
It's like it'll depend on you how long it takes. I'm like, or it'll just kill me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's partially what they're trying to find out. The claim seems to be that it's not lethal to non-cats. So, Miffy, you're not a cat. Will it kill you?
I mean, malnourishment might.
Yeah, that's true.
When they leave.
Luckily for you, it's only been about 30 hours. So.
Ooh, how much water do you need? I mean,
They're giving you food and water. Not that you
Okay.
can necessarily keep it down. That's up to you. Or that you're necessarily drinking it.
As you're leaving, Miffy goes, can I be moved to the control group?
oh my god.
Alright. Rescue team. With your strong hit on your stealth roll, you find your way in and start making your way down into the lower levels. You find a door, you peer around a corner, see a door guarded with an Eyrie standing at alert outside. Eyrie soldier standing at alert outside. He looks like he's trying to be alert, but honestly, it's hard to stay alert in a hallway for multiple hours, right? Like you get somewhat bored, right? Like even the most disciplined soldiers are going to have a tough time, especially when you're like the 4th level of defense. So he's there, he's looking. You haven't seen anywhere else secured, and this is in the right direction. How are you distracting or getting past this guard? Or how are you taking divine inspiration from Miffy? Alright, we got several options. Distracting, or murder, or different flavors of distracting, I suppose.
Is the hallway, is there an end to the hallway, or does it turn on both ends?
Is there an end to the hallway?
Yeah, I imagine what happens is you, come down a set of stairs, and there's, an intersect, like a corner. And on one corner, there's the path that leads to this guard, the door that way, and there's a few other doors that way. And then the other side of the path, past, perpendicular to that one, there's another set, there's another set of doors. As for if this one goes past the guard, it's longer down the other way, let me flip a coin. We'll say on a 2, there's one, there's more beyond the guard. Or 1. So the one that the guard's in dead ends, but the one that the guard is not in does continue on, at T intersections at the end.
And he's the only one there.
The only one there at the moment.
Okay. Can I do a trick shot?
What is your intent with the trick shot?
I want to distract them. Or am I like, do you think they would see me, or?
I think
Milo.
when you fire a clever shot designed to take advantage of the environment at any range, roll with finesse. Cut something, break something, knock something over, your choice. Your shot distracts an opponent and provides an opportunity. I feel like if this is what you want to roll, then all you have to do is not miss, and you can do exactly that, because one of the choices is explicitly distract someone, right? So, yeah,
Okay.
you can make that roll, just don't miss.
Hey, Milo.
Yeah?
Put it down the hallway that the guard isn't in so that he has to go over there.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah, so like you do the idea being you do the trick shot, retreat up the stairs a little bit, let him go past you, and then go behind.
What was that noise? Okay.
Okay, yep,
I play
all
him
right,
now.
do it. Take the roll.
This one's for Miffy.
Weak hit, choose 2, which I assume is distracting someone, and it could be breaking something. Which
Would it help
I
if
fire
I
it down. I fire it down a hallway, and it breaks a vase. So he's like looking around. It's like it breaks a window. I guess to find out if someone came through the window.
You are underground now, so I don't know if the window thing. Remember, we did go
then a
down
vase.
into the basement, but it could definitely break a vase.
Well, actually, that would leave the arrow, wouldn't it?
You know what? It's the second thing you can do. It says your shot lands in any target of your choice within range, even if it's behind cover or hidden. So your second choice could be, you shoot an arrow, it breaks the vase, and the arrow embeds, somewhere else, right? Like it goes in a corner, it goes, plants itself in a second vase like a flower. I don't quite know how that works, but it's a trick shot,
I'm gonna say. Let's say it hits the vase and then embeds itself on the ceiling somehow. You good with that, or is that too much?
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds fair.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna mark where
All right.
on my crossbow.
And I'm not going to make you roll stealth again to go past this guy, because you already rolled stealth and you rolled the trick shot and succeeded. So the guard moves past, and then you two move beyond that guard and make your way deeper, knowing full well that that guard's now going to be behind you if things go wrong between you and escape. But how much deeper could Miffy be?
I thought the guard was at a door.
Yeah, the guard was at a door. Sorry, you go through the door and you continue down a set of stairs. At this point is where it transitions from being basement to now you feel like you are inside the tree, right? Like you're actually like in the tree now. The passages are narrower. The light sources are much smaller. Everything gets dimmer. And you can start to hear the voice below, the voice that we just heard in the scene, as this bird mutters to himself. Subjects are so inconsiderate these days. You'd figure that they'd realize it's in their best interest to help with the research.
Damn.
Really, it only delays their own release.
Can't believe Miffy got cut up in MK Ultra.
You hear an uncomfortable grunt from another bird down there. There's at least a second one. But it sounds like they're moving around. You move down a little bit further and take a peek into the room. What you see is at the far side a heavy door, very likely a cell, sealed. Looks like it's probably not like too securely locked, if at all. The impression that you get is that whoever's inside is probably restrained, and that they make their way in and out occasionally. But you do see that there are gas masks hanging from the neck of each of the birds here. 2 guards, one of whom is very politely listening to the examiner, the other of whom is trying to ignore the examiner by examining the books on the shelves here, which this guard does not seem quite taken by the subject matter of these tomes.
Literate.
Tracks.
How many were there again?
So 3 in total, 2
3.
guards and 1 researcher.
Okay. Can I read the situation?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Strong
Ooh.
pass
Okay.
3.
God damn, I know everything. Is there an obvious alarm system if something were to go wrong here?
Looking around, as far as an obvious alarm system, yes, I think there would be. I think near, both near the door, like the prison door, and near the opening that you are at and peeking in, there's what looks like there's probably a cord that hangs down in each place, making a bell-like alarm system that you've seen several times, I think, across this campaign, right? Both times in Dion's Den, but one of the captains had one, as well as the Wizard of the Woods had one as well, though his was not very concealed. It was very out in the open. But, you know, the bell-based alarm system is here at both doors in case of a prison break.
So there's one at where we are,
Yep.
like near where we're coming through, and one by the cell door.
Yep.
Okay, are the guards visibly armed right now?
Yes, both guards are visibly armed, though the weapons are not drawn.
Okay, and is there anything around here that looks volatile or heavy?
Oh, I think I have a good option for you here. Well, I don't know if this is a great option, but here, actually, I have several. Several things came to mind, so here you get several. First thing is you see a familiar crate, and given what the bird is muttering about with experiments, you think you can guess at least some of what's in that crate. There's probably some heavy glass in there. Now, granted, you can't see inside it from here. You do not expect it to have the full volume of every glass jar. That would be silly of them to have it all here in the prison. But if they're doing research, quote unquote, on it, then they probably have a bit for examination and use, right? So that's the first heavy thing that you see. The other thing is one of the guards was examining a shelf. Not only is the shelf itself relatively large, and if it fell over, that would be a heavy object, but there's a bunch of tomes on it and display cases, things like, things like that are containing like body parts and things, like that sort of stuff, right? Not necessarily of animals like you guys, but of like, it would be animals like you guys, huh? Because everything's sentient in this. Yeah. So we got animals like you guys parts.
Except for fish, I guess, and bears.
Except
and
for
whatever.
fish, and if you're too big, not sapient. If you are too small, or if you're too fish, you're too aquatic, not sapient.
Two fish.
Two fish.
Bugs. Bugs lead rich lives. Put that on my tombstone. Okay. Let's do a quick huddle with Amber.
Yeah, you retreat up the staircase a little bit and whisper really, really quietly.
Okay, yeah. We chat in the team chat. Okay. My plan right now, I'm going to do another trick shot. I'm going to knock the string off the bell near them. And when it ricochets there, I'm going to knock the bookshelf over on the guard right near it.
How?
With a trick shot.
A bookshelf? How are you gonna knock over a bookshelf with an arrow?
Very carefully.
Okay, and you said you're taking the string off of the bell?
So they can't, ring it.
Isn't that going to ring it?
No, I'm gonna do it very carefully.
The plan is to do it
How do you feel
extremely
about this?
carefully, Ember.
I would like plan B.
Okay, we knock over the shelf, and then we embed the arrow in the guy closest to the bell by the cell.
Did you say cell or saddle?
the cell.
Thank you.
We're
I
not
was like, the what?
we're not at a stable where we keep. Milo shrugs.
All right.
Okay, wait, before we do that, can we cut the string on the bell near us?
I think if you want to lean out into the room at any point, that's when I'm starting to ask for rolls. So why don't we get our plan completely in order? And speaking of, yeah, I was gonna say that sounded like that's what Milo was intending to do. Ember, did you have any additions that you would like to do at the same time? Certainly, by acting at the same time, you both can cover more ground. Or
like we should
any
put on
critiques
first.
or alternatives? Sorry, what was that?
We should put on our masks first. If nothing,
Yeah, obviously.
if nothing else, and then anonymity.
Could have
But
been any
also-
toxin bug.
But also, in case, something is used.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, no birds leaving this room alive.
I mean, if we can help it.
Yes, my friends, kill! It's what I would want!
True.
Why is the mouse talking after it didn't want to talk to us? Weird.
Okay, but how are we, bookshelves are against a wall, aren't they?
You
Well,
didn't
maybe
see this,
they
but it was
didn't
totally
properly
there.
anchor them.
It does have an anchor, but it's like just barely keeping it there, and any old twinge of a sharp object will cut it and send it flying, crashing down, obviously.
That's only the case if you roll well. If you roll poorly, that's not the case.
It's a piece of string that's in superposition right now, so we need to observe it with a roll.
Or it's in a poor position, but you roll poorly and it passes perfectly between the string and the wall.
Ends up in my eye, of course.
All right.
Yep.
So before we roll though, Ember, what were you doing?
I still think that we put on our gas masks, and as Milo takes the trick shot, I will want to cut the string near us, so the only string that they could feasibly pull would be near the cell, and they'll be hopefully distracted by the trick shot.
Yeah. They'll be. Oh my god, that was incredible.
All right.
But if the bookshelf falls, who is it falling on? Because I only see one guard near it.
The one near it and the other shot, if I get it. I mean, if I get a weak hit, it's 2. If it gets 3, I could probably also peg someone else, shoot someone else with it.
That's quite a trick.
It's a very good roll. And
Yeah, if you rolled a very good roll.
all right, well, we just gotta see.
Yeah, mark the wear and roll with finesse.
Okay, so let's mark it first. All right. Hold on to your butts.
Gold's tail.
Hey, strong hit.
There we go. Best in the West, baby.
All right.
All
Nice.
First shot. It cuts the string. The string that is definitely there. Was definitely there the whole time, holding the bookshelf in place, and topples it over on the guard.
Okay.
The second one. Damn. Miffy's in here. Is here in spirit. The second one. I'm gonna say the second one ricochets off the wall and cuts the string holding the mask around the nerd's neck.
Okay.
And then the third ricochet hits the guard that was not
involved
crushed.
in any of this at all. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna start making a diagram of. We have bookshelf. Here we have Eyrie guard near bookshelf. Here we have Eyrie guard not near bookshelf. Here we have
Eyrie nerd.
Yeah, you know what? Let me put the doors on first. Got Miffy door up by the top, and we've got. Oop. Well, that's long. That's very
Takes
long.
a long time to open.
We got where you guys are down here.
Okay.
Right? And let me make just really quick add a different token for nerd. Because, you know, might surprise you. I did not plan to have Eyrie nerd, questionably moral researcher. You know, that wasn't a planned NPC for today. I do not have a Shrike token for this, but the bird would definitely be a Shrike, like 100%.
Gotcha. I'm assuming that's a type of bird.
It is a type of bird known as the butcher bird. They are.
That's a nerd.
They are cruel. They will impale bugs on spikes to mark their territory. Like, yeah, they're metal.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one.
Oh no, we got the Jeffrey Dahmer bird.
So really, I think that's the perfect bird for doing questionable experiments, right? Like,
okay, let me get up real quick.
We'll call this Eyrie nerd. You know what? We'll put Eyrie nerd like. Yeah, I think here by the bookshelf, but not under it, and we got a little desk. I'll draw a little desk for the.
Oh, this thing looks kind of like a kookaburra.
Yeah, I mean this. Oh, you're looking up at what a Shrike is.
Yeah.
I shared a picture.
They're fun. By that I mean they're kind of horrifying, but you know.
Terrifying!
They're so tiny
like
and
you,
so
Miffy.
mean at the same time. Yeah, just like
you
Miffy.
Should get
Alright, so, Ember, Milo, the two of you. Milo, your trick shot goes off without a hitch, so you are able to knock over the bookshelf, which does draw the attention and gets a classic, like, oof out of the bird who it falls on, right?
Oof.
So that happens. This bird is going to, I'll put this prone marker on him as he's knocked down. As he's knocked down by the bookshelf falling on top of him. It won't pin him for long, but it will pin him for at least a short while. Then the buckle of the Eyrie nerd's gas mask falls. It clatters against his desk, and he's just like, oh. A little brief bit of surprise, but not yet time to react, and then it bounces, and you said cuts the string for the... Oh, no, hits the other guard. Hits the other guy, yeah. Hits the other guard, alright. Dealing its harm to that guy. Ember, you cut the string next to you.
Yes.
I would say that because Milo rolled so well, you get a beat to act before they do, right? The distractions are distracting. They look first towards the falling bookshelf and then the falling mask before they turn their attention towards where the shot came from. Ember, what are you doing? Oh, and I guess I'll put another one for the box, like the container of stuff, of like probably the poison.
How close is the bird at the desk?
Pretty close to you. This isn't like a huge room or anything. Like if you wanted to sprint across anywhere in this room, you could make it there. Depends on what your priority is, or what you think will make the chance of success here highest. Like there's nothing stopping you from running straight to the door that Miffy's probably in, but will that be the best use of your element of surprise?
Nah, I'm gonna tackle the nerd.
Yeah.
You have your shield, right? You have like.
I have my shield and my spear, but I want to keep him conscious for now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's your intent with tackling the nerd? Are you trying to use him as a living shield? Are you trying to just like keep him from fighting back? Like, what are you trying to? Hostage. Sounds good to me. All right. God. Make a.
Milo over here, like, what are we doing?
We're not leaving them alive.
Let me take a look at grapple.
Well, the guards don't know that.
Yeah, the guards don't know that.
Okay.
All right, so let's see.
Everybody said I'd kill you last.
So if you wanted to, I don't think we want to roll the grapple move. Grapple move is more like for brawling until one of you passes out. Probably in this sense, what would be more appropriate? I think
Might?
Yeah, I think just roll might for me. I think would be reasonable.
Oh
no.
Frick! Can I mark? 7 won't. Will it?
So to mark to like bump it up by 1, you need to have something that would let you do that, which I doubt you have for such a specific scenario. But let's check your equipment. Or you would need someone to roll to help you, which Milo is not at the moment. What you could do, looking at your equipment, is you could use your star, the last unused one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
That's one thing you could do. I'll take a look at the rest of your stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't
could
see
just
anything
shield that.
Yeah, just like right now you're all good on your track, so I would say if you need to take damage or whatever for it, just go for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out how to do.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything that can let you do that, unfortunately. I think you're either
only
using
certain weapons.
Yeah, it's only certain things or like certain pieces of equipment, and even then they tend to grant it in a narrow circumstance, which I don't think this is a circumstance Ember has really invested into, unfortunately. I'll check your moves as well real quick, but I don't think yet any of these work. I think if you get your hostage, you may be able to use some of your playbook moves to help, but you need to get that hostage first. So it's falls to you, either do the reroll with the chance of it going even worse if you miss again, or just fumble your attempt to grab him and find out what that means. Those are your 2 choices.
Do we gotta do?
Last star, don't fail me now.
All right,
Oh god.
do your reroll.
Please! What?
Oh no!
I'm gonna land on my face and poof it.
I think what happens is, you go in and you try to grab him, and perhaps what you don't realize is how skittish perhaps that he is, right? And so like as the mask drops, there's like a beat of like fight or flight panic in him. So you go to grab him, you grab onto his clothing, but he moves just a little bit faster and a little bit more powerfully than you expect. And so as he starts to move back away from what he assumes is the source of it, he drags you with him over the chair, and you end up falling over just in time for this guard to move over and to draw his weapon. I think what happens is he moves over, he draws his weapon, he takes a swing at you. Ember, I'm going to have you mark... I'll have you mark a harm. I'll let you choose whether it's an exhaustion or an injury from that one in particular. We're just going with the 1 for... Actually, no, it's going to be 2 for here because you did use your star and have it go poorly.
Can it go 1 for each, or does it have to be both in the same track?
I'd permit that.
Thank you.
Sorry, what was that?
I said thank you.
Yes. And I think to also emphasize how bad things have gotten, he's also gotten away. He's already starting to help this one get out from under the bookshelf. Milo, you feel like your trick shot has just finished going off. I should add a little marker. This guy over here is the one who is hurt, the one who has the degenerating tag, just so we know. Milo, what are you doing? Ember is in a bad spot, about to be surrounded by guards.
Let me see. Let me take a look here. Okay. Am I at far range?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna harry a group.
All right, so you're just unloading on all of them, basically.
Yeah. Let me double check.
I mean, I'm on the floor. So.
Yeah, I mean that tracks. They're all except for the one that's kind of also on the floor, but he's in the process.
Cunning. There we go.
All right, let me roll. All right, let me read Harry a group.
You gotta like click into it. Oh.
Yeah, so let's see. When
A
you
lot
hit
of
a
tabs.
mark where and roll with cunning. On a 10 plus both, you inflict morale harm and they are pinned or blocked. So, let me mark morale harm on each of them or on all three of them, excuse me. As you unload all this hail of... I forget, do you have a crossbow or a bow?
It's a clockwork crossbow.
Oh, perfect. So you flip the machine gun.
Start blasting.
Yeah, you start blasting. You take out your Tommy gun and just through.
I Van Helsing their ass.
Now, because they're either blocked or pinned, what I would say is that manages to like catch this one's blade and shoulder and like pushes them back a little bit. This one and the nerd start lifting the bookshelf, but the nerd drops the bookshelf to take cover from the bolts. And so that causes the guard who wasn't prepared for that weight to not actually get hit by any of the bolts, but get pinned under the bookshelf again, right? So it's like all that progress and getting back up. Ember, you have a brief moment. Milo has cleared a moment for you to recover. Where are you going and what are you doing?
Hopefully up.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Yeah, you can stand up. That part you don't need to roll for. But like what you're tempting.
Gonna... I forgot, is the string attached to the bell still intact?
No, the strings are no longer intact. Both are gone. Wait, no.
Okay.
Wait, Milo, did you take out the first string or no? You talked about it, but I think you didn't actually.
No, I talked about it, but I instead plugged the other guard.
Okay, yes, you're right. So it is still there. The second string is still there.
Okay, then she's gonna run over and cut it.
All right, sounds good. Ember, you use the opening granted by Milo to make sure the alarms are off. But I don't want to say unfortunately, that's successful, that's great. But the guards managed to recover from being pinned down. I think the nerd is going to run over here, grab some stuff. His first priority is he grabs all the notes off the desk. The second priority is he reaches into here, grabs a jar, and he looks like he's running towards Milo. He has decided to stop trying to help this guard up. This guard is now just trying to squeeze themselves out from under the bookshelf, which just leaves the injured one, who sees Ember near the prisoner door and cutting the string. I think Ember's going to be the top priority for him because of proximity. Even though Milo's the one who's shooting, you're the one closer to the prisoner, right? So I think he's going to go after you.
I'm also wearing my unassuming hat, so I'm basically invisible to them.
That's true. You are rather unassuming. So the guard's going to the guard's charging towards you, Ember, but because they were pinned down till briefly, you do have the opportunity to react before you end up stabbed. So what are you doing with the ribbon cut in someone charging at your back?
Bring up my shield.
All right. Is your intent to basically like shield back, fight back, or shield bash, fight back?
Yeah, and not get stabbed.
All right, sounds good. So in that case, you're engaging in melee with him. I'm gonna need you to roll engage with melee, or engage in melee.
Nice.
All right, weak hit.
Okay.
You trade harm. That means you are able to deal some damage back by, I assume, shield bashing, right? Like into the bird.
Indeed.
And then you get to pick one from the list. So, what do you wish?
One from the list?
Yeah, so if you click on choices in the move, it'll open up. Your choices are inflict serious harm, so deal +1 damage. Suffer little harm, take 1 less. Shift your range 1 step, or impress, dismay, or frighten your foe. So you get to pick one of those 4 choices. These guys deal 1 point of harm, so you would suffer 1 injury if you do not take the reduce harm option. Miffy's star piece worked in your favor.
We're gonna
One
kick
star
the ass
piece.
of that bird when we come back to the stand.
Oh my gosh. We did get a good roll with the sneaking in.
Yeah, that was Miffy's. So.
Okay.
Did really well.
All right.
So I'm going to suffer a little harm
Wait, no. Wait. Yeah. Suffer little harm.
All right. Ember, you suffer little harm. Milo, what are you doing? You see, Ember's in a melee kerfuffle with this one. Now, between your arrow and Ember's fighting back, this one's starting to look pretty overwhelmed.
But you also got Nerd coming at you.
Is the doorway open? Is there a door there?
There's no door. It's just a doorway. That's how you were able to peek in and, without drawing attention to yourself.
I'm gonna target the bird.
Which bird? They're all birds.
I'm gonna target the nerd.
Oh, the nerd, not bird. Nerd.
The nerd bird.
Nerd bird. All right.
13.
Okay.
Strong.
Woo!
All right, strong hit. You can inflict injury and strike again before they get to cover, or keep your position hidden. Do you think you're? I
fire off 2 shots.
I think you're just gonna hit him twice, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I go like, who the fuck gave you permission to move?
Whoa!
Oh,
Damn.
that's a great line, and he looks awful from 2 hits from the crossbow. As you deliver that line, I'll give a bonus morale harm to him from that. But
Damn.
Nerd does have a lot of morale, unfortunately.
Oh no.
But did
he's
get
all
2 from
signed
earlier.
up.
But let me tell you, he does not look good on the health department. When you say who gave you permission to move, I think what he's going to do is, because like he's just going to keep running, and he will sort of be like, under the authority of the Great Lord, I order you to stop doing that. And he's going to run and start running up the stairs.
That's a straight line, perfect shot. Don't worry about it.
You still have a shot as he's running away. However, this guard is going to finally get up and out from under the bookshelf. This one's going to get up from out of the bookshelf and start moving towards Ember and the door up here. Ember, what are you doing?
Moving.
All right.
If I move while engaging in melee, does that cause problems?
It depends on what's your intention here besides moving. Are you trying to get to safety for yourself? Are you trying to, like, what's?
I'm trying to get away from being cornered, so probably move over to the fallen bookshelf.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fair. I think roll. I don't know if there's a specific thing for that. I think what I want you to do is, you're trying to roll to the fallen bookshelf. Basically, give yourself a more advantageous position, right?
Yeah.
All right. I think just roll cunning for me. I don't think there's anything too directly appropriate here. So.
Oof.
All right. Weak hit. So I'm going to say is you get your advantageous position. I am going to have you mark an exhaustion as you have to dodge 2 sets of swipes as the guard you do, but you otherwise manage to get over to safety. I think these 2 guards, one of them is going to try to move to approach you. The other one, blade drawn, did take a swing at you, but upon seeing the nerd trying to escape, you over there, looks at the door with the prisoner, realizes what you're here for, and blade in hand starts to open the door.
So I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh, don't worry, Miffy's bound. The guard's very safe.
Are you sure about that?
You know what? Great question. Miffy, you've been hearing a kerfuffle. You're barely conscious, but you did hear a yelp. And what sounds like, even through this heavy door, you're familiar with the sounds of scuffling. What are you doing? Bereft of your possessions, constantly in pain as you are.
Probably naked.
Well, I don't know how much strength I have, so you gotta tell me if I can do anything. I probably would want to try to get closer to the sound, maybe move my chair over.
Okay, so you're trying to, arms tied to the chair behind your back, you're trying to do the, and, scuff the chair across the floor to be, right there. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good. I think with some effort over the course of this, you were able to do so. But before, and you can hear the door starting to get pulled open on the other side. Hopefully, it's by your friends. Through pained, stinging eyes, you realize it is not. It is a bird who is in the middle of affixing his gas mask with blade drawn.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, no. Blade drawn, affixing his gas mask. You realize the only reason he hasn't stabbed you yet is that he's in the process of securing himself against the fumes that are in your room. But it seems like he realizes that they're here to rescue the prisoner. He's about to make sure there's no prisoner.
Oh no.
Milo, what are you doing?
I'm going to target the bird. I'm going to target the nerd. There we go.
All right.
All right.
You inflict injury. The nerd goes down in the stairwell as the blade of the other bird gets near Miffy. Ember, you see the other bird heading towards Miffy. There's one between you and them.
Okay, so first thing, pocket sand.
Yeah, pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
I need to get past the one that's coming after me, so pocket sand in his face.
Right, the plan being pocket sand, and then as you make a mad dash for the other one to save Miffy, right?
Correct. Yes.
All right. Go for it. Make your, it's a finesse roll, I believe.
Take the weapon skill, confuse senses, and use cunning instead of finesse.
All right.
Oh, nice, yes.
Good. So you can just roll pure cunning.
Oh,
strong hit. That pocket sand is effective. This one's already hurt. And
he's
so the
choking on the sand.
Yep.
It's so sandy.
Should have put on my gas mask.
Right.
Ember, you managed to make it by. This bird is getting ready to finish off Miffy before you can save her.
How big is this guard?
I mean, reasonably
if
sized.
Okay, so a full body tackle probably wouldn't really move him.
If you throw all your weight in it and you were on a bookshelf, like if you take running leap, you could probably knock him over, but you'd be going over with him if you did that.
Crossbody.
That's fine.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
So, what do I need to roll for that?
Roll a might roll for me. Yeah, I don't think this is quite engaging melee. It's something to say.
Let's go! Let's go!
So you do throw yourself onto him, and you do go down with him, but you manage to do so in a way that puts you firmly on top of him, so that way you're able to start getting into position before he does. Right.
The ref comes in and starts counting. Starts going for the 3 count.
Can you imagine? Okay, Miffy, how does this look to you?
Yep.
Through bleary eyes, I see a cloud of sand, and then just a bunch of, I see the figure of you, bunch of fur, just and land with the thud. I'm like, huh? What's going on?
Mac down. That's all the fluff.
Yeah. And Ember, a glance over your shoulder is the first sign that you see or the first confirmed sighting of Miffy, who doesn't look good, right?
Put me on the board.
Completely bloodshot eyes. Oh, sure, we can drag you over here.
I just imagine they look like that bird, that kick that's been going around social media looks so pissed off. The fix of the coin.
Yes, I saw that. I'll put it in chat.
All right, let me just put. Let's see. What's all the how many down arrows can I put on Miffy right now? This one has a skull that looks bad. This thing's screaming that looks bad. This looks bad. That looks bad. Falling over. The eye thing. The ear thing. Fire because you feel like you're on fire, but you're not actually. Ooh, corroding. Definitely that. Bleeding, probably.
A little bit.
All right, there we go. I think that's enough for now.
Wow.
All right, Miffy, you are still bound, but perhaps that'll change very shortly, as it seems that the team has regained some initiative. This guard's going to rush for Milo, but Milo, you have a beat before he gets to you. Are you supporting Ember and Miffy, or are you taking out the one that's running for you?
Is Nerdo gone?
Nerdo's gone. You heard
Gone
him
as in
collapse.
dead? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're shooting someone in the back, I assume they're probably dying, but I don't know. That's generally my assumption. But
So, are they at close range right now?
They were running towards you, so you can decide if you want to shoot them as they run towards you, or if you want to wait and then smack them with melee something. That's entirely your call. If you want to try shooting them as they come over, feel free.
Clockwork, fire, string. As they're coming over, I'm gonna target them.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
Ooh boy.
All right, miss. So in this case, he is able to get to you. This particular shot goes a little bit wide, and I think with the momentum from running over and the extra blood fury of being relatively injured at this point, I'm going to have him deal an extra harm on top of his original one. So you'll take one injury and one of your choice, either injury or exhaustion.
Okay, injury, exhaustion. There we go.
All right, sounds good. Ember, you got one pinned underneath you. Miffy is there, bound next to you, conscious but barely. Does not look great. What are you doing?
Finishing off this freaking guard.
All right, you say finishing off, but this is unfortunately the least injured one. Does this take the form of Ember just on top of the guard, just hitting with the shield repeatedly? Is that what's happening?
I also have a spear.
Oh, that's true. You do have a spear.
Oh, God.
It occurs to me that this is probably the most violent Ember and Milo have been this entire campaign.
Aww,
You don't fuck with Miffy.
we
have to fill in the gap.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
We have to fill in the Miffy-shaped gap.
All right, make your engage in melee roll, but I'm gonna give you a +1 from the guard being knocked over from your previous roll. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what was it again?
Your engage in melee roll. This guard's trying to get his blade, trying to start taking swings.
Yeah.
Strong hit. Very nice. Didn't even need the extra +1. All right. So
Smackdown.
you get 3 choices, which I assume you're picking inflict serious harm and suffer little harm, but
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The serious harm that breaks the rest of his armor and deals some injury to him. You suffer little, so you take none. What is your third choice? You can shift your range, but maybe you like where you're at the moment. You could impress, dismay, or frighten your foe.
I'm gonna scare the crap out of him.
I will tell you, this guy looks absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
Morale tracker is definitely fully depleted. One more would have him surrender or run, but I did get the feeling this is a no mercy run. So
No mercy.
he is he is afraid for his life for good reason, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Milo, you're now in. Sorry, what were you saying?
I just said he's like, I'm gonna get you. Oh no.
All right, yep. And then Milo, you're engaged in melee with this one over here by this door.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you're just continuing this dance, nothing fancy. You're in melee, they're in melee. Take some swings.
You have a melee, are we? We're not at intimate, are we?
Yeah, he definitely closed to take a swing at you range.
Okay.
That's how he was able to. Oh, you're talking about for your ranged weapons, right? You could try to.
Yeah.
You could try to back off, I suppose.
Okay, I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna gauge your melee.
Okay. What melee weapon do you have, or are you just throwing old fisticuffs?
I'm doing little Goro 100 hand slap with my 2 main feelers and my vestigial feelers, and I'm gonna shift my range towards the middle of the room.
All right, sounds good. So that's your one choice. You take 1 harm, you deal 1 harm.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is looking pretty bad, but not yet on the brink of unconsciousness. Switching back and forth, Ember, continue your murderous stab page, or
Stab page. Damn.
And remember, this is all happening while they're wearing gas masks.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
that's true.
Oh god, we must look terrifying.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We look like the Combine from Half-Life 2
Oh, goodness.
for this particular scene.
Well,
All right,
Well,
Ember, how much of a mess do you want? How much a mess do you want Ember to make of this guard? Is my question.
she's not taking any prisoners. She is sitting on top of him and just going at it. So whatever that means to you.
Stabbing him until not only is he dead, he is no longer twitching. Is that what's happening?
Yes.
You could definitely go into unconsciousness. I'll leave it up to you how beyond the point you want to go. But yeah, definitely you. Sorry.
Then you might give one more stab.
Okay, sounds good. It's like stab, stops moving.
Yeah.
Stab to be sure. All right. That thing
Yes.
brings down one. Milo, you're the last one. You moved a little bit towards the center of the room. Are you taking a shot at him?
yep, we're targeting.
All right, you're targeting him. You inflict injury. All right, which
I believe in you.
is enough to put him right on the brink. And as the one right on the brink of death, he's going to do the tried and true strategy of running away, seeing his two companions. Milo, are you giving chase? He's like halfway up the stairs. You can see his legs. You get one more shot, but if you miss this one, he's gone.
One more shot. Fuck you.
All right, down he goes.
Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
I
Pretty good
shoot
roll
from
from
far
you
away.
Yeah.
I shoot him once from far away. That downs him. That basically kills him, right?
Yep.
And then I walk up to his body. And I'm kind of standing there with the crossbow down on him, and he does a little twitch, and then I shoot him again.
Oh my god.
Hi, Miffy. We missed you.
You guys came for me.
Sure did.
Ember
I
works
feel
on
like
getting this
shit.
in time.
We'd give you a hug, but you're kind of
Get her a
covered.
gas mask instead.
Yeah.
I'm covered in poison.
Yeah,
Be careful.
we will. So it's about 3.5 hours. So
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
here's
how
where
we
we have
feeling?
to end. And I think
Mhm.
God.
I think what we can do is we can do this. You guys snuck in. You killed these three before they could raise the alarm. We're going to assume that you are able to sneak out with Miffy. How you deal
Real
with the
quick.
guard outside this door? We're not gonna deal with that one. What we're going to do is we're going to end with making it back to the butthole.
One real quick thing. Can
Yeah.
we grab the notes the nerd was going for and take them
Yes,
with us?
you can take them off his corpse because he was carrying them up with him. So
Mhm.
Loot,
Take
loot,
those.
loot.
Loot that body.
And so here's we are over time, so I do want to end. But here's also what I think should happen. The three of us need to talk about where we go from here.
Sheesh.
I think that there is a good, with the way that this session went, there's a strong likelihood that next time could be our last session,
Mhm.
or our finale
Could
for this
be.
one. What exactly that means, we may need to discuss. But sorry, what was that, Ember? Masha?
Woo.
Yeah, woo! So I think that's might be what we're looking at. I think we should all mentally prepare for that. The three of us,
Mhm.
four of us, the three of you and me, will discuss a little bit out of game what exactly to expect going into it. But I think with how everything went down today,
That was very intense.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think next time.
I mean, I would stay prepared for next week. Like, I was prepared for Miffy possibly
week?
dying.
yeah, I was.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, I had that conversation. Oh yeah, we had that.
So you
conversation.
got to keep me on the cast, right? Right? That's why I need a bigger trailer. The fans love me.
I mean, I could have died. That would have been okay with me. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that she's not. So
Yeah, oh my god. Just the emotion.
I saw the opportunity for Miffy to be unconscious by the poison instead of the blade. And that would give an opportunity to have a scene focused on Ember and Milo doing rescue, just like Miffy got a scene focused on murder. It's a nice little parallel, right? So,
it ended up being similar.
It rhymes, like poetry.
Yeah, it rhymes, just like poetry. It rhymes. Yes, we've reached George Lucas level of storytelling. Congratulations, congratulations. If only we got the George Lucas level of paychecks, but here we are.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll move us over to closing. While I do,
thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for playing, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I hope you had a great time, both of you, Masha and Hambone. Your ats are in below. Sorry.
It was so intense. All right, but yes, bye-bye.
Yeah, well, before you go, do you have anything you want to plug?
You know where to find me at Radio Bone Air on Twitch and on Blue Sky.
Sounds good. Masha, do you have anything to plug? I know you're busy with moving and all that.
Wednesday, I try to stream. That is all. Keep an eye on Saturdays, but no guarantees.
Sounds good. And as for us here...
Also, real quick, I'm open for commissions. Let's check it on Blue Sky.
Commission him!
Oh, look. Go check it out. All right. And then we're going to go.
Bye-bye.
Wait. I almost forgot. Tomorrow, Nova and I playing games.
Yes.
Friday night, Final Fantasy. All right. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, get out.
Yeah, all right, get out.
Yay. Okay, now we can end.